Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Cave Junction, Oregon, a shady character brings a young woman into his web with violent results. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. Yeah. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week. An immense amount. We have a crazy, wild, weird, interesting episode this week. It's one of those ones where it's a head shaker, and it's interesting, and we'll put it this way. Make sure, and I'll repeat this right before we start in case people skip right through the opening here. Make sure you listen until it's over. Until we start saying, hey, thanks, this is our social media handles. You need to listen to this because this story, when you think it's over, it is certainly not over. And there's another twist to it that is just disturbing that you need to know about. Okay. So stick through it to the end. Plus, I have a little complaint to lodge at the end also. Some ranting possibly to do, so you might want to stick around for that. But more importantly, the end of this episode is wild.
Great.
Thank you, folks, so much for your reviews this week on the purple icon there, Apple Podcasts or iTunes or whatever the hell you want to call it. We appreciate it, and they really do help drive us up the charts. So thank you so much for doing that. Yeah. We say it every week, but we mean it every week. It really, really helps us out.
We appreciate it every week.
We appreciate it. So if you haven't done it yet, get on there, give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. It's really not for our egos, so really you can say anything you want. Doesn't matter.
Don't care.
We don't care. Just the 5 stars and say something would be terrific. Yeah. People have done that, so thank you. And the other people we want to thank this week is our wonderful, wonderful producers, all of those great people. And if you want to be one of our producers, one of our special, amazing people, you can do that very, very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or go over to PayPal. Use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
There it is.
Make a one-time donation there. Save yourself the trouble of having to remember that, all that stuff by just going to shutupandgivememurder.com, and you can find links to all that stuff. Links to merchandise, links to, new t-shirts, ones that say Small Town Murder Live, that you can find tickets. You can buy those and then get tickets to one of our live shows coming up in the next couple months. Thank you to everyone who came out to Dallas and Houston.
That was so fun.
That was great. House of Blues in both spots. Very nice hospitality from you people. Dallas, my God, you guys were crazy.
What the fuck?
That was a crazy crowd. So thank you guys for being cool and coming out to support the show, and the hundreds and hundreds of you. That was wild. You guys really showed up.
Houston tried to kill me. Good Christ.
Houston almost killed Jimmy, and then he took it easy for Dallas, and the crowd was just wild and cool as shit in Dallas.
Yeah.
And
thank God they didn't force feed me whiskey.
They were force feeding herbal remedies onto me. I was like, I'm only here for a day. It is impossible physically for me to ingest whatever you're trying to give me at this moment for that short amount of time.
Because my body was trying to expel everything Houston put in it.
Yeah, and then you were having Korean food. Never mind all that. What an adventure that was. But come out, Portland this week, Portland, Oregon, and then Seattle the very next night. Yeah. Come out to those shows. Really, they're going to be wild. Next week,
right.
Not this week. Next week.
Next weekend.
So for that, we're going to go. We're going to do an episode for that area of the country.
What a teasing son of a bitch!
It's a tease, but first we have to do the disclaimer. Yeah. We have to tell everybody out there. You never know. People listen for the first time all the time. This is a comedy podcast. We are comedians. The story is real. Don't get me wrong. We're not making stuff up and going, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if this actually happened?" That's not it at all. We're not embellishing anything for the effect of comedy. Right. We're not doing that. We're comedians, so we're going to make jokes. What we try not to do is make jokes at the expense of the victims or of the victims' families, because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. And that's the truth. And that's how we can roll with this. And that's people go, well, what's so funny about murder? And you go, well, if you do it the right way, plenty. A lot of there's small towns, bumbling police forces, people around it, idiots, murderers to make fun of. There's plenty to goddamn laugh at, you assholes. That's what there is.
Point, the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. So if that sounds good to you, God damn it, I'm happy to have you, and we're happy to have you. And sit back, because we're going to have an amazingly fun time.
Yes.
If that's not cool with you, and you think that comedy and crime should never go together ever, well, then you're not going to like it. So you should probably bail out now, or give us a chance and actually loosen up, and you'll probably enjoy the damn thing.
You might be a little,
because it's honestly not as bad as you think it is. Right. So jump on in the pool with us.
It's not that bad.
Jump on in the pool with us. And I do want to say this too, because I've had a few things. Live show, when we're doing meet and greets after the show, I'm not a monster. You can approach me. I'm not. People have said, like, I want to say hi, but I'm like, they don't think I'm going to yell at them for some. I'm not going to yell at you. I know I'm yelling at you now to tell you I'm not going to yell at you, which is like a parent yelling at a child saying, "Stop crying! What are you crying about?" While you're screaming in their face. But honestly, in person, I'm a very nice person. This is
especially when you're fucking
happy from a live show.
Insanely baked.
Yeah, I'm baked. I'm happy from being at a live show and seeing people. So it's a good thing. But let's go on a trip, Jimmy. Okay. Let's go on a trip. What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's pack up. We've been in Michigan.
What do I say
no whiskey.
Fuck yes.
Jimmy said, "No more whiskey, please."
Do you know what?
No more whiskey.
It hurts so bad to throw up when you have nothing to throw up.
I bet, in the airport, especially.
Oh, good Christ.
So we're going all the way from Michigan, where we were, Webster Township, Michigan. We're going clear across the country this week, all the way to the West Coast, going all the way to Oregon.
Fantastic.
Because since we're going to be in Portland, I figured why not be in the Pacific Northwest? And I found a weird damn case that has basically no coverage outside of a couple of little tiny blurbs in local newspapers from the exact time it happened, and really nothing else since then. So it's crazy. We're going to Cave Junction, Oregon.
All right.
Cave, which is, I love towns with crazy names. That's for small town murder. You want that. You want either like Iowa is the name of the town, or like crazy names like that, or you want Cave Junction, Oregon, which sounds exactly as weird as it is.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's where they, the Fratellis would take the Goonies' bodies after they've killed them, I feel like.
Cave Junction,
Yeah,
see?
take them down to Cave Junction, and Joey Pants goes down there, shitty Robert Davi following him. Anyway, it's in southwest Oregon.
Yeah.
It's not far from the California border. So it's down there, down in the very southwest kind of corner. One county from the ocean, and, this county borders California.
Got it.
So not too far. It's about 3 hours to Eugene, Oregon, about 4.5 hours to Portland, which is on the north side of the state, and about 7 hours down to San Francisco in the car. So it's kind of, it's out, it's by itself. There's really not a lot around it. You're not really, that Northern California, Southern Oregon area is kind of a no man's land of just.
I don't think I realized that.
It is. Remember when we did the Jarrett Wyatt episode for Crime, which could have been a small town murder, because it was in a small town and he murdered his friend and cut his heart out, and was just kind of hanging out naked with a bloody corpse with no heart. And
that was there.
That was in Northern California, in the middle of nowhere, kind of up by the Oregon border.
But the ocean's close.
With the ocean, it's beautiful country, Jimmy.
Which is bananas to me that nobody's buying there.
It's so weird though. It rains, like this place has 61 inches of annual rainfall a year. So that's
now you got a reason not to be there.
That's the reason why it's a little wet. It's
61 inches.
61 inches of rain per year.
5 feet.
That's a lot of fucking rain.
That's a fucking lot.
That's a lot of rain.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, do that in snow, which is like 10 inches of snow for every inch of rain. So
that's too much.
That's a lot of snow if it was all snow, but it's not.
Lord.
It's in Josephine County, Oregon. Zip code 97523. Area code 541 is like the old school area code, and they've added 458 to it as well. It's a small town, 1.82 square miles. The motto here is, it doesn't even need a phony motto. It's Gateway to the Oregon Caves.
Yeah.
Or there's another one actually also here that it's less popular, but if you dig deep in the website, it's on there. A great place to start a militia.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Or fucking drown, because there's 5 feet of water.
Or drown in the rainwater as it flows by. And they're like, is it flooding? Nope, that's normal. Just the streets run with water.
So much water.
It's a lot of goddamn water. So history of this place, for thousands of years, obviously, it's been a Native American place. The Takelma Indians were here in the Illinois Valley. They call this the Illinois Valley because, as we know, nobody can be creative at all.
The Illinois Valley should be in fucking Illinois.
Nothing west of the Mississippi has its own name. It's all, unless it's like Cooter's Bluff or some shit like that, who named it after some guy named Cooter. Unless it's that, it's some shit from back east or some bewigged douchebag English town or some shit like that. So, yeah.
There's an NFL coach named Cooter.
Oh, I'm sure.
I forget whose coach it is, but shit.
There's probably a Cooter and a ribeye and a fucking there's who knows these people.
I forget who he coaches, but the quarterback,
Scooter and Cooter and ribeye.
They got a new coach, and the quarterback wanted the offensive coach Cooter to stick around.
Oh, I was going to say
Jim Bob Cooter.
Oh yeah,
that's his
Jim Bob Cooter. Yeah,
name.
that's his last name.
Yeah.
But his first name, if his last name was Cooter, it's bad enough his last name's Cooter. But when you add Jim Bob to it,
fucks it all.
It really puts some stank on it. You know what I'm saying? Really adds a little sting to it at that point. Jim Bob Cooter.
It's fucking amazing.
Like if his name was William Cooter, it would be less bad.
I mean, they'd call him Willie Cooter.
Willie Cooter, but that's still better than Jim Bob Cooter, which is, I feel, terrible. The Indians who inhabited this place, they did fine, except for the fact that, not a lot of people were out that direction as far as, Americans, quote unquote, at that point, until gold was discovered around there. And then these people's, the natives' lives were just completely fucking turned upside down. If they're standing on top of gold, it's like, people that come aren't even seeing you as people. They're seeing you as things to be moved off of piles of gold. That's what they're thinking at that point in time.
But when they found out there was gold there from the East Coast, when they found out there was gold in the West, they thought there was like cities made of it. They didn't realize you had to fucking dig it up, smelt it, and then
turn
it
mountain.
Right.
Yeah, for fucking to fight bears and shit.
Fucking dopes were like, let's just go steal the castle that's made of gold.
They thought you go in the river, you bring a shovel, and you scoop out shovelfuls of it, and then you go claim your fortune. Take it down and cash it in.
Fucking dipshit.
Easy shit right there.
Bunch of idiots.
If they had watched Deadwood, they'd know better. This doesn't work like that. It's very hard work. Very, very hard work.
The production companies of the 1800s were real weak, though.
You got a working gold claim. Shit's bad. Yeah, HBO didn't come into their own until the 90s, I got to say.
They really could have saved a lot of trouble for these fucks.
They didn't. That's the problem, I think.
Could have saved a long walk.
Yeah, maybe if Netflix was around and Hulu, they could have put out a good show about it, maybe. But they were in their very, very early stages at that point. It was just a guy running around going, want to hear some shit I heard? Want to hear a story that somebody told me once?
I heard this was out there.
Very primitive version of Netflix. It's the guy going, I heard something. You want to hear it too? That's $5 a month. I'll come by once a week and I'll tell you some shit. Hulu 1882 version.
Jesus Christ. Otherwise, fucking strap up beaver pelts and go figure it out on your own.
You're on your own, assholes. Here's your pelts. Sling them over your shoulder and get moving.
Kidnap a young girl.
That's it.
And have her show you the way.
It's the only fucking way to do it. Kidnap a young girl from her, quote, husband when she's fucking a teenager. So,
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, gold was discovered in the early 1850s, around 1850, and then they had wars, obviously, after that, because they moved in. They were the Rogue River Wars. There was a treaty in 1853. After this treaty, most of these Tekelmas lived on the Table Rock Reservation, and then in 1856, they were moved again to a different reservation, and then split apart into another reservation. So,
poor bastards.
Yeah, this was not great.
Disperse them and
just disperse them for reasons that, well, there's no gold here and there's no gold here. So
we're going to put you here, and there's only enough room for this amount of people. Don't worry, we'll find more room for the rest of you.
You don't want to be where you were because there's these stinky yellow rocks under there that you guys don't want. You don't want to have those. They're terrible.
They're bad rocks.
They're bad rocks. They bring evil spirits. Right. Ooh, it won't rain.
Juju.
Won't rain for months. Yeah. Okay. Over there, it'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll rain every day instead of every other day.
Right.
So, the first gold nugget in history was found in Oregon history was found in the Illinois Valley, and also the largest gold nugget found in Oregon was found there too. It was a 17-pound nugget.
That ain't a nugget.
That's a fucking
holy
boulder.
Shit.
You could kill a man with that.
17 pounds of gold.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man.
Holy shit.
That's wild. This was they found this was an 18-year-old boy named Ray Briggs found this in 1904, which was 50 years later.
And he was quickly slaughtered.
And he was murdered in the woods.
Yeah.
They raped him for good measure just because while you're there, why not back then? They'd be like, well, might as well. Them prostitutes are expensive in town, so he's free and dead already.
17 pounds will buy me a shitload of prostitutes.
Oh, boy. People were horrible back then is what we're getting at. They'd kill you for that. The newspapers called it the most wonderful gold discovery ever reported in Oregon history at the time. He discovered this while hunting along the Sucker Creek, which sounds like it was... I don't think that was named for a big douchebag. I doubt it. It was called the Wounded Buck Mine.
See, the Native Americans really named some great shit.
They did.
Like they did it the right way. Wounded buck was somebody shot a buck, it ran off.
Yeah.
They didn't kill it right, and they learned a lesson.
It was hard there to kill a buck. And they're like, we'll just wound these motherfuckers around here, boy. It's terrible. Just wound them, they run all off, bleeding everywhere.
Table Rock sounds like a bitchin' place to visit.
Just a bleeding. It does. It sounds nice, but unless you're forced there.
Right.
Because there's no gold there. The original settlement around this area where the gold strike took place was called Waldo, which I assume was just a guy named Waldo.
Right.
And he's like, well, my place right here.
Red
I found it.
Sweater and all that
That's
shit.
it. Oh, yeah. And it was hard to find him. But once you got into those woods, you could pick them out.
He's an elusive motherfucker.
At one time, 3,000 miners came in. 1,500 white miners and 1,500 Chinese miners. One group was the underground group and one group was the above ground group. I'll let you pick which one you think.
Take your guess.
Went under the ground for that. Just a guess.
Well, you see, less dirt will get in their eyes.
It's how it works.
Because,
we've had good luck, as we've discussed before, with them Italians when they come over, because a hole is smaller. They're greased right up, and
they slide.
You push them right through there, and right down there. It's like Indiana Jones on the little thing. You ever see that movie? That's a good movie. Boy, movies is getting good here in the 1880s. I'm so happy that we have that.
A man came for $5 a month and told me the story.
It's a pretty good story. story.
A little chinky-eyed fella with blocks on his feet to drive.
One of them, yeah, you know.
A tiny minor was running with him.
One of the underground fellas. One of them fellers came along there. That's wrong too. Damn. It's right. What is it? The 1880s? What can I say anymore? Damn it!
I watched Blazing Saddles the other day for the first time in so long.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I wish that people would go that hard on the racism in movies now.
Well, because they're fucking making fun of it. That's the point. They're making fun of it. Yeah,
I didn't realize that Richard Pryor was a writer on that movie.
Fuck yeah, they wanted Richard Pryor
and that's
to be.
Why.
Yeah, Richard Pryor's supposed to have Cleavon Little's part, and they thought he was a little too Richard Pryor.
All right.
For it, and
that makes sense. He would have overacted that.
No. It would have been about Richard Pryor at that point rather than being the movie. Right. So he was like, he's a writer with. It's an interesting story, but yeah, he was most of the race shit was Richard Pryor.
Absolutely, you could feel the jokes.
Not even that. They said he liked to write Mongo shit. He thought that.
Really?
That was what he thought was fucking funny. He liked to write for Mongo. Yeah, and Mel Brooks liked the race shit, and that's how they worked it, which is fucking pretty funny.
I see. When I watched it, I picked out jokes that I figured Richard Pryor wrote, and every fucking sexual innuendo, I'm like, Mel Brooks for sure. That's absolutely him.
He liked the Mongo shit. He liked to write Mongo, punching a horse and falling down.
And by the way, that looked so fucking real. The horse getting drilled in the face.
Well, it was a good stage punch, and the horse was trained to take a fall.
Really?
That was you never watched that with the fucking with the commentary?
Cut?
Oh
no.
My God, it's amazing. There's so many things I could go into, but yeah, that was a trained horse that was trained to take a fall.
Jesus,
so very hard to find that horse.
Fucking Jack, was it named Jack Tripper?
That was a John Ritter-esque fucking tumble he took.
He was classically trained by John Ritter. John Ritter ran him into fucking hammocks every other day.
Yeah, that's what he did. It was a very, very intense training session. They did every day. They moved him to Hollywood, and he took up with John Ritter. One Blazing Saddle fact. I could give you a million.
I love it.
But just one.
I want them all.
The opening song of this, he wrote a Blazing Saddle, all that shit. The guy who sang it's a real country singer, old time. He thought that this was a serious movie. He didn't know what he was saying. He thought he didn't
read the lyrics.
He wrote this beautiful song, and Mel Brooks said he's singing. There's tears in his eyes, and he's singing like he's feeling this fucking thing of this man saving this town, and it's a complete fucking farce, obviously. And he's like, I didn't want to tell him because he's really into it. It's that's what he does. So it's fucking perfect. So
he wrote me an amazing song. I'm just running with it.
So fuck it. They made it real.
He made fun of blacks, Chinese, German women got slaughtered.
Everybody
in that movie.
Got made fun of in that movie. So that was the movie. Yeah. That was the fucking point. If you watch Blazing Saddles, that was make fun of it, and then it gives it less power. Was the stance then, and now it's not. Obviously, we've taken a different thing. So anyway, back into these people here. 1850s, back into the Blazing Saddle times. Gold mining was the major source of income for a long time. It dwindled in the 1860s, 1870s, like all of the gold. There's only so much gold when you come. It doesn't just keep coming. It doesn't regenerate under there. You don't just be like, we got to wait a month and let the gold grow back. It's not how it works. Planted my gold crops and nothing's coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
We plowed the field.
Did you turn them for soy? Is that how it works?
Right.
It's the only thing I know about farming.
We planted up the hay, and then next spring, that gold's coming right in.
That gold's going to come in strong. That's what it is.
You got a good crop of alfalfa.
We got wheat, and we got gold. It's going to be one of the two. World War II, up until World War II, before World War II, it was a lot of ranching and fishing and logging, and people would come, tourists, to explore the great whatever the shit, the West, basically. And after that, though, agriculture also. After World War II, timber became a big part of it also. Let's knock down all the goddamn trees. There was 30 lumber mills operating after World War II in this area, in the Illinois Valley. Late 1980s, though, they were down to one, with, different regulations. And if you can't just knock shit down, and, now you have to, do it the right way. So most companies were just like, let's just knock a bunch of shit down. Whatever we have that's left over, just dump it in the ocean, and then that's fine. That was the main way people did business for a long time. You know how it goes. It's fine. You know. So it'll work out.
I do like that those explorers took the fucking easy path to the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they know how difficult that shit would have been had they gone straight the fuck west through Oklahoma, Panhandle of Texas, New Mexico,
they
Arizona.
Took the 40.
They took the 40.
They made the I-40 path. They came in like, oh, Christ, how big is fucking Texas, man? It's just a panhandle. Imagine if we were driving the whole state, for Christ's sake. Whew, Oklahoma's flat. Wow.
If they took the 40, they'd have been dead before Amarillo.
Oh, God. They would have killed themselves before Amarillo. They would have gotten to Oklahoma City, and they're like, this is enough, right? Is ridiculous. That's where Oklahoma City, that's why people are there. I'm serious. They got there, and they were like, this is fucking far enough.
It's enough.
We've done, and then, yeah. So 1874 was the big discovery of Elijah Davidson found a cave. Okay. He started finding caves while on a hunting trip. This became the Oregon Caves, which is the Oregon Caves National Monument and Preserve. It's a protected area here in the mountains in this area. It's a big 4,554-acre park.
Wow.
That has the Marble Cave, all this sorts of shit. It's a big place to go look at. In 1884, a guy named Walter C. Birch heard about the cave from this Davidson guy and staked a squatter's claim at the mouth of the caves, which just is Dennis Duffy from 30 Rock to me. Squatters, I'm claiming squatters' rights.
I'll be here.
So, he and his brother-in-law charged $1 for a tour of the cave.
Wow.
Just come on in, people. We'll show you this damn cave.
Ours.
That's our cave. Yeah. We're squatting. It's like in The Wire, kind of, when they had Amsterdam and everybody had Bubbles' business blew up because he went around with the cart and nobody could leave because if they left, somebody would just come take their fucking claim because it was, never mind. So anyway, they,
God damn it. I want to know
so bad. To know so bad. They call it the newspaper said they had camping, plentiful pasture land, and a medicinal cave that had medicinal waters in it.
Oh boy.
Which was probably moldy and made people shit their brains out.
Feel the vortex.
Yeah.
Very Sedona-esque.
Yeah, Sedona's Sedona's beautiful and a nice place, but people are fucking crazy up there also. They're out of their goddamn mind.
The rocks heal your cancer.
Yeah, no, they don't. No. Go to a doctor to heal your cancer. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I had people have their holistic medicines. People are going to say, my aunt went to, I understand.
Whatever.
But for the most part, doctors are good too.
I bet you wish you could ask Steve Jobs how his holistic shit went.
We put Jim Henson, how things went for him. Well, Steve Jobs at least had aggressive cancer. Jim Henson.
It wasn't at the beginning until he started treating it with cashews and fucking sage.
Jim Henson literally needed just like
a shot.
Not even a fucking Z-Pack or whatever the fuck.
A Z-Pack and a brisk walk.
That's it. He would have been all right. Some soup, and he would have fucking been fine. Like literally.
Maybe some Robitussin.
Yeah, that's all. Everything was okay. Dead.
Instead, we got somebody else.
Instead, what is it?
We got his kid.
Who says that? Whose joke is that? Instead, it's somebody's joke is that. Instead, now Kermit has to sound funny. I don't remember who the fuck it was. I don't remember who it was, but it's fucking hilarious.
That's great.
Somebody, it might have been a Family Guy joke. I don't remember. So, anyway, they got the 1935. First of all, 1926, it was known as Cave City, which is Cave Junction now. Yeah. Cave City, which is crazy. And then they changed it. When the post office came in, it was under the name Cave City. And then the name City implies it was incorporated, and it wasn't, so they changed it to Cave Junction.
Got it.
Ridiculous. Now, the notable people here, there really isn't any. But the fact that they put in their Wikipedia page people who have just been there, which is not how that works.
People that visited?
I'll read you from this, okay? Right. Cave Junction has a number of notable residents and past residents, okay? That's the first. So you expect people who have lived there.
Right.
Okay. Actor John Wayne was a visitor to a ranch in Selma, Oregon, which is about 10 miles north of town. That's not enough to say anything
John Wayne visited somewhere else.
He was over yonder a bit. Okay, well, that's great. He grew fond of the area after filming Rooster Cogburn along the Rogue River. Well, that's terrific. That doesn't mean he's from there. I'm sure there's a lot of places he thought were pretty nice. What the fuck kind of shit is that to call?
That's hilarious.
That's the worst. Christy Lee Cook, who was a contestant on American Idol 7, which just, that you don't get any deeper of a thing. Christy Lee Cook from American Idol 7. You go, huh? What was that? Was raised in Selma.
Again, 10 miles north
of there. Even in town. And the guy who is the This is amazing. The guy who
No, they didn't.
The guy what?
They did the guy?
No, this
okay.
No, the guy who does this. No, I'm just saying, you know who Arthur B. Robinson is?
No,
because he's the head of the Oregon Institute of Science and Medicine, and they say that's 7 miles from Cave Junction. They don't say he's from Cave Junction. That guy's the head of this place, and that's over there.
Right.
Makes no sense.
He's the head of a place somewhere else, and he's from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's perfect. Now, from the site, this is from the town website. It says that Cave Junction, as the major service center for the area, has most every single thing else most people need. Not everything everyone wants, though. There are 4 financial institutions, 2 supermarkets, 3 service stations, 2 auto parts stores, a feed store, a building supply, a hardware store that virtually carries almost everything. 2 drugstores, a DMV, an eye clinic, 2 or 3 veterinary clinics, Chinese, Mexican, Italian, and a Dairy Queen. So that's everything you need right there. Resident review here, or this is also from the site, I'm sorry. You'll be part of the slow. It says life is slower, so you have to be patient. You'll be part of the slowness because it's enjoyable to be neighborly. It's a place where going to the market can take time because people talk in the aisles and at the checkout stands. I would blow my brains out all over the fucking Count Chocula in 2 seconds.
I was just thinking, James, you researched this whole thing in your nightmares. You were probably screaming that in the middle of the
run,
night.
get the fuck out of there, assholes.
It's a joy to be neighborly.
Jesus Christ. Will you move out of the goddamn way? I'm trying to get through here. I want to get home.
Nowhere else on earth is it's slow a positive thing.
It's slower, but you'll like
what
it.
The
Don't
fuck?
tell me what I'll like. 1950, they had 283 people, so that tells you not a lot of people there. By 1990, they had 1,126 people, and now they have 1,932 people.
Fucking booming.
Up 72% since 1990. Yeah. Median age here, though, a lot of older people. It's 50.6 is the median age.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, average is 37, a normal median for the rest of the country here. More males than females because there's also a lot of outdoor jobs, a lot of logging and shit like that, which skews.
Still panning.
Yeah. All of the age groups, like all the younger age groups are underrepresented as far as, compared to average, and all of the older groups have more people. So it's just older, a little less married people. Married with no children there's a lot more, so that's usually more older people. 26% divorced. As 11% is the norm. So that's like, I don't know if people run away here when they get divorced. They go, I'm going to go live in the forest, or I'm going to go live in a cave maybe. I understand the wanting to live in a cave after a divorce.
I wouldn't mind it.
It actually makes sense.
It's basically what I live in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I had the same situation, so I completely understand.
It's a small first floor apartment. I'm basically in a cave.
That's what I mean. It's kind of like so if you wanted to go to Oregon, if you didn't have any kids, you'd go to a real cave.
Trees around it and 5 feet of water.
Perfect. Race of this town, racially 85% white, about 5% black, 1.15 or 1.51% Asian, 2.5% Native American, which is well over the average, and about 5% Hispanic. So it's a pretty white town. 26.2% of the people are religious here. So that's about half the norm.
26.2.
Yeah, it's about half the norm, and we're just going to have 4.7% Catholic, a bunch of other faith. Really not much of anything. 5% LDS, though.
Hodgepodge, and then those fucks.
If there's a cave to live in and have to do some weird shit, they're going to find that. 0.0% Jewish. This is not, they're washing their hands of this stuff here. I don't want any part of that.
Cave? No. That sounds filthy.
No, thank you. 0.0% Islam. 37% Democrat, 58% Republican, and 4% independent in the last election, which is like 3 times the norm of independent voters. Usually it's less than 2%. So this is kind of, then they say the residents here go from extremely very liberal to right-wing survivalist militia lunatics. That's
Nazis and Marxists.
That's sort of, hippies, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like older, like a hippie type. And
that's your 4% fucking. independents.
And the right-wing survivalists are voting for probably some crackpot lunatic to the right of whatever the fuck. So unemployment rate here is about 7%, so that's a little bit high. A little bit high on the unemployment rate. Median household income is $26,000 here. That is less than half the national average. So things are not going well. Twice as many people make under $15,000 than normal, and only about 4% make over $100,000 a year, which is
no money here.
No, it's not a lot of money here. Much more agricultural, fishing, hunting, that type of job, forestry here than normal. Retail trade is a lot because there's a lot of tourists for the caves. That's pretty much it. But the median home cost, like cost of living here, 100 is regular and average. Here it's 96. So it's still pretty high. Housing's an 85.
Jesus.
So, I mean, the median home cost is $202,600. So it's tough. That's what I mean. And well, let's find out if we've convinced you that you need to live there. We have for you the Cave Junction, Oregon Real Estate Report. I found your average 2-bedroom rental is about $960 a month, which is about $300 less than average. That might be your best bet.
Still a lot of money.
Yeah, well, listen to this. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 843 square foot. Small house, $185,599.
Soaking wet.
That is, and it's wet all the time, and you're going to have to demold. You're going to have 8 dehumidifiers going in 1 dehumidifier per 100 square feet, I believe, is how you need to break that down to not be covered in mold when you wake up. Active mold. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,248 square foot place here for $237,399. No bargains here.
No.
Maybe if you want to start a militia, this is you can do this. A lot of land for sale.
All right.
I found a 48 acre lot. No, a 48 acre lot.
48 acres?
Ooh, 48 acres. A lot of them. It's a retirement place for old basketball
you buy
players.
All the shitty ones?
That's right. $165,000 for 48 acres. So if you want to live in the woods or by a cave, there you go. Things to do. It says on their website, quote, bring the kids to join the pollinator parade, which sounds like a man jizzing on things.
Yes, it does.
Walking around swinging his dick from back to side to side. Just, who wants some? Who wants a baby?
Bring the kid for the pollinator parade. It's just an old man, Jake, just tugging, and then 48 kids behind him.
And it gets worse. It says costume party starts at 4 with plenty of wings and things.
Yeah.
Bring your drums and instruments, which must be euphemism, for the parade that starts at 5.
You can beat too.
Yeah, but we'll parade around the block on the sidewalk and be done by 6. So that sounds like, I mean, how long can you jizz down the street for? An hour tops, I would say. Also, that's
the most disgusting parade we've ever described.
That's worse. That's the one where you wanted to say not kid friendly.
The Shriners don't even want a part of that.
No, that's disgusting, people. Also, the pet parade every year.
Yeah.
You walk your fucking pets around with your kids, and it's a pet parade.
It's better than a pollinator.
And it's better than the pollinator. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, Jimmy.
My favorite.
Oh, yes. Property crime is about 1/3 higher than the national average. Yeah. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime altogether, is almost double the national average.
This shit is not it's safe at all.
Fucking crazy. Weird shit goes on here.
Yeah.
This is an odd place. Very, very odd place. And this story, man, it's an odd story.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. It is, the best way to describe it is it keeps coming. Like I said, it's
like the pollinator?
Like the pollinator. I like he's just one guy. Hey, this is my friend Gus. You know him as the pollinator. He turns around, he's got like a football jersey on that says pollinator across the back, and he's like, yeah, you know me.
And he's just got a slow drip going all day.
I'm the jizz guy. Yeah, I get about a half gallon of pop. It's pretty impressive. I hold it back, I squeeze it off a bit.
I put my thumb over the tip.
Let's just say I got a little for everybody. I shake it like a champagne bottle and then use it as I need it. So it works. A little over here, a little over there. You know how it goes. They call me the pollinator.
That is fucking disgusting.
Bring the kids. By all means, bring the kids along because this is very important. They're going to want to watch this.
That's how they were made too.
They're going to want to watch it. It's important to them in their life in some way, I would say. So.
This is the most disgusting thing we've ever done.
That's the worst shit ever. That is gross.
Holy fuck.
So this particular this episode, I'll explain kind of the origin of it, okay? I'm looking through cases, and it's so weird. Like, start getting deep. You go down a hole, and I get in a hole of just Court of Appeals cases in Oregon for murders, and I'm just reading them all. And then this one fucking pops up, and I'm like, what the shit is going on here? Yeah. And so I look at it, and what I usually do is I find a case, and then I look up what else is there. If I find the court document, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of it, but there's other shit around it and what's happening outside of court. Because in court, they only have the, things that are kind of admissible in court. There's not really like the public sentiment or shit that's known outside of court that's not allowed. And like in OJ, those jurors didn't know half of what the hell was going on in his trial. So there's stuff like that. In this case, there was so little media about it that I had to keep digging and digging and digging. And while digging incredibly just to find small facts about this case, a whole other thing opened up to where it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Can I just give you some credit real quick for saying a whole other? That
why?
Was fucking incredible.
Instead of another?
Ugh.
Yeah. Another's not a word.
I hate that.
And
I just want to...
A whole another isn't a thing, so it doesn't make sense.
I just want you to know that was amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I work hard on that sort of shit, actually, because that's the sort of shit you get tweets about.
Yeah, well,
and then I go fuck yourself. I don't care.
Even though I do
care. Yeah. Well, go fuck your mother. I don't care. Oh, but they could go fuck their mothers or anybody they want themselves. I don't give a shit.
That's a whole mother.
If you're tweeting grammar at me, you can fuck a whole mother. Have that. Have all of them. Fuck them all. And yourself. And a pile of dicks to you, sir.
And cap it with yourself.
And have yourself in there also.
I just think it's awesome that you just did that. That's my point.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. Thank you, brother. So this guy we're going to talk about from the start, we got to talk about, is a guy named Gerald Allen Batty. Okay. Batty.
What, really?
Like, that motherfucker's Batty.
Yeah?
He's Batty, and his name is Batty. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about the new show, Charmed, on the CW. On Sunday, October 14th, the CW and the creator of Jane the Virgin, they bring you the highly anticipated new series, Charmed. You got to see Charmed. Charmed is going to be awesome. It's a show about the magic of sisterhood and the power of sisterhood, something I obviously know a ton about, but this is a great time. I'm jealous of these ladies. I'm checking it out. I watched the first episode, and I want to be magic. They get to be magic. They get to do a whole bunch of cool things. They get to help people. They get to do a bunch of cool stuff. It is awesome. Using the power of three, the charmed ones will temper the patriarchal powers that be with the powers of she. Three sisters, they find that they have unique magical gifts. Each of them have a power. Together, they find their destinies and become the power of three. They find that they're stronger together. They use their supernatural powers, and they will fight evil and protect the innocent. Of course they will. It's so much fun. It's actually a really fun show. Check it out. Really good stuff. Starring Madeline Mantock, Sarah Jeffrey, and Melanie Diaz. It is going to be on the CW. It will be casting its spell upon the CW and all of their viewers on Sunday, October 14th, right after the season premiere of Supergirl. All of this only on the CW. Check it out. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about the Reasonable Doubt podcast, brought to you by Penguin Random House Audio. If you love a thrilling mystery series, try listening to this audio. Main characters like Juan Cabrillo and Stone Barrington come to life through your earbuds while listening to the latest novels by Clive Cussler and Stuart Woods. Or maybe you want to catch up on John Sandford's Virgil Flowers series before the next one, Holy Ghost, comes out. Listen to the audiobook. Audiobooks are a great way to keep up with your favorite series and be ready for the next book to hit the stands. Visit penguinrandomaudiohouse.com/series and start listening today.
And now back to the show.
This guy, and it's insane that not this is what I mean. There's so many, you hear it out there all the time that there's so much like shit that goes by the wayside and people that are, kind of not investigated and shit like that. And I will say from the start, by the way, for the end of this, I'll say it now, we are not fucking journalists.
No.
We are not attorneys. We're not criminal investigators. And we don't think we are.
No.
Like, if I find something crazy, I'll tell you guys about it and be like, somebody should look into that. Like, a professional person, like with a police department or something that can do something about it. Not a podcaster or us.
Right.
Or
somebody with handcuffs and a gun and the actual vested interest of actually doing that.
And can actually make something of it. Because if I look into it, it really doesn't help for anybody. Like,
they've got power vested in them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Dayton, Nevada episode, a couple people are like, I thought you said you didn't like podcasters who were trying to be investigated. We're not.
No.
I was going, hey, somebody out there who knows what they're doing and has power to do this should check this out, because it seems like it fell by the wayside. I'm not the guy to do it. If I was, I'd say, hey, I'm going to look into this. But I'm not, and neither are you. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like we said, we're comics. We try our best. So,
meanwhile, last week's show, a lot of people are giving me new theories about that too. They don't believe that the homeless guy did it.
It's dude, that is so open. Yeah, that one's deep too. That's another one where we're like, that's a real like making a murderer type one where I feel like it's a drifter guy who's got no representation of any kind of.
But we kind of swayed him to believe that too, because
who knows?
It's just
I just
our
gave
opinion.
the facts.
It's just our opinion that neighbor was a little too fucking nosy. You
Absolutely,
know what I mean?
No, we thought so too, and we just gave what the facts were. That was it. I mean, I gave you exactly. I try. I'm not gonna that type of thing. I'm not gonna say this is what happened because I don't fucking know what happened in the middle of the goddamn woods in Michigan 25 years ago. I can't tell you. This is what's facts that are available to me.
But the people agreed with us that he was too fucking nosy.
He was a little too nosy. If you look up the news reports, it's a little much too when you see him.
That's too much.
So this guy here, Gerald Allen Batty, he grew up, from what I found, and this took a shitload of digging. Like I said, not easy to find this shit. I believe he grew up in Arkansas because I found what I thought at the time was his mother's obituary and listed him as a son. And this guy also. So then I tracked him through Texas and back, and I believe that he's from Arkansas.
Gotcha.
From Little Rock, Arkansas, I believe he grew up in, and by court records that I found also of marital issues that he had. He married. It's great. He marries relatively young, from what I understand here.
So I thought you were saying he marries relatives.
No, he does not marry relatives at all. That's maybe not. He's married in his early 20s in the 60s, which is normal in the 60s. So that wasn't like, oh, he ran away to get married or anything crazy like that. It appears he was married to a woman named Rebecca. The only way I know that is from court documents of their divorce, their records and shit like that. So he's married to this woman named Rebecca. Now, it looks like by 1976, he's still in Arkansas, and he's sued by a woman named Becky, who's using a different last name. But I feel like that's Rebecca, and the code on it, I believe, is for modification of financial support. So I feel like it was like modification of alimony.
She's trying to get some more.
She was trying to get more alimony by 1976. So I feel like that's his wife suing him again, unless he had somebody else that he needed to pay money, financial support to. I'm not sure. Maybe Becky was his kid that I don't know about that I couldn't find.
Maybe he owed restitution to a lady named Becky. We don't know.
We have no goddamn clue exactly what it is, and really nobody's going to know, and it has nothing to do with what's going on. So fuck it.
But that's just the point that's how we know that he was in that area.
That's it, and then we're going to know something else too. This is later on. This comes up. This comes up. Like we said, stick around to the very end. Gerald Allen Batty lives in Texas. I know of. After at least, I don't know if there's anything between Arkansas and Texas. Doesn't seem like it. There's not a lot of years, but he could have bounced to a few places in 3 years. Who knows? He's kind of
flaky.
He's a flaky guy. He's a drug guy.
Oh boy.
He likes drugs. He likes uppers. He likes coke. Later on, meth. Okay. He likes to and weed too. But he likes to deal drugs. He's kind of the local scumbag dealer. He likes a certain type of girl, as we'll talk about, a certain type of woman of a certain age, and to look exactly a certain way, because he finds multiple girls that people describe as almost identical.
Weird.
Which is fucking weird and creepy right off the bat. It's creepy right off the bat. It's one thing to have a type, but to have girls that are like, whoa, those girls are identical that you went out with. Like,
I can't think of anybody in my past that I dated that all looked the same.
No.
I can't think of two girls that looked similar.
No way. I swing all around back in the day there. It's fucking all around. So, yeah, who knows? Like it's...
I'll date a black girl just to fuck it all up.
Who cares? Yeah,
just to blow up the whole
it doesn't matter.
Just to change it.
It's attractive's attractive.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Beautiful and sweet is beautiful and sweet. It doesn't change based on fucking anything.
No. So I know for a fact he was in Texas, specifically West Texas. I know for a fact, to be more specific, the Amarillo area. I'm positive he was there in the late 70s, at least until early 1978. And I know that for a reason, and that's what I'll tell you at the end. Like I said, when you think it's over, it's not fucking over.
Okay.
But in around 1978-ish, he moves to Oregon, away from Texas. Kind of, I would say, running from almost a mob with torches and pitchforks and shit from here. A posse, we'll say. Yeah. Well, we'll call it a good old fashioned Texas posse. But unfortunately, it really wasn't a posse, because if it was a posse, we wouldn't need this episode. Okay. That's the thing. If shit got done right, by all likelihood, we wouldn't need this. What we're talking about now. This will all make sense. So when he's in Oregon, he meets, but now this is when he's 40 years old. He meets a girl named Laura Brittain, Brittain, Britain, I'm not sure, Brittain. Now this is another girl. I feel terrible, this young woman here, that we don't have a ton of information about her. There's just not a lot of information about her. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand why. Like I said, like this is a crazy case, and you would think it would have got more publicity, and it just didn't. And it's very strange. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's drugs involved in this whole thing. Anywhere where Gerald Batty goes, there's drugs, there's a cloud of shit, there's scummy people, there's shady goings on, there's he's drug dealing, he's got, you know the drug dealer's house. Yeah. You remember when you were young, when you were a teenager, and there was that dude who was like 37 that sold drugs to teenagers, like large amounts, and you'd go there like that, that guy's house. Like it's the guy, it's the Boogie Nights Sister Christian guy's house. Like that's that, except poor. Right. Imagine if that guy was like lower middle class. Like that's the guy we're talking about. Like that's Gerald Allen Batty. Okay. But he like lives in the fucking woods. Yeesh. And his past is ultra shady, as we'll talk about.
He's got, like extension cords running
oh
shit
my
in his
God.
house.
Extension cords from generators that he like stole off of other people's yards.
Absolutely.
A county over.
Right.
I went 2 counties over, and everybody got generator, leave them right out front.
He's got 3 of them on the edge of his property.
Backups.
So the carbon monoxide doesn't affect him. And then he just got extension cords running
all every
air conditioners,
every which way, running all his dehumidifiers. What air conditioners? It's freezing in there. It's raining. It's like 61 degrees.
Running a water pump to get the fucking 5 feet of water out of his living room.
That's it, man. You could just put a straw in your mouth and just suck the air out of the water, or the water out of the air. Kind of like Houston. Yeah. When we were there, I walked 2 blocks to the hotel after the show, and it looked like I played full court basketball because it was approximately 400% humidity at midnight.
I walked out of the airport, and there was like, they got to fucking change that, by the way, to where you get your car, your Uber or whatever.
Yeah.
It's at the smoking area, and everybody has just gotten off a plane. Good. Every fucking smoker in that airport is sitting right there. There's a cloud of smoke. You know what? And it's 190 fucking percent humidity.
Tough shit.
I walked outside.
That's what you get for flying the whole way without smoke.
These poor people just sat through however long their flight was
forever.
and just want a cigarette. They're out there trying to have a cigarette, and there's sheets of
everybody's.
There's sweat in their eyes, and it's stinging, and they're just
it doesn't matter.
Their cigarettes soaked with sweat.
And then their smoke is going on the non-smokers who are also coated in sweat and now smoky too. Which doesn't help any.
If it wasn't so painful, it would have been hysterical. But I felt terrible for them and myself, because now I have to stand there waiting on fucking Osaya or whatever the fuck he was from.
That fucking place, that Houston, is insane with the humidity.
11 minutes is how long it said the Uber would be. I waited for 19 minutes.
Yeah, at an airport, they just always show the icon of the guy sitting there like he's just hanging out for 20 minutes while he waits to come. Like,
that 11 minutes is I'll start driving in 11 minutes.
Yeah. I got some stuff to do first. I'm eating a sandwich. It's always the airport lunch break.
My air conditioner.
Yeah, it's nice and cool. So this guy, anyway, in 1983, he's in Oregon. So he's been in Oregon for a few years. Yeah. He moves there. He has this Laura Britton who's 19, like we said. He's 40, which is whatever. I get your age difference thing. A 40-year-old scumbag drug dealer. Right. I don't want hooking up with some 19-year-old chick. Just period. He's going to do bad things are going to happen. Right. He has bad intentions with her, and she probably doesn't realize it. Or even if she does, she still doesn't have the wherewithal to fight off a 40-year-old drug dealer guy if you're 19. Enough with if you don't know that's bad, right? Off the bat,
it's weird enough with Dane Cook dating a 14-year or a 19-year-old. Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Hold on, 19.
He's not Jerry Lee Lewis, for Christ's sake.
Dane Cook dating a 19-year-old was weird enough as a dude that's super successful and can probably take care of her fine.
Weird.
It's still fucking weird.
Mick Jagger would go out with 19-year-olds when he was 68, which was also strange.
Bizarre.
That was very odd.
Bizarre.
It's like you could literally be her grandpa,
right?
Like. Close to great. That's pretty fucking creepy. That's really messed up. So she moves in with him in 1983 in a house near Cave Junction. So this is kind of outskirts of town in the woods, and we'll tell you about the setup of the whole place in a little bit too. It's a fucked up compound of weirdness. Now this is 83. She moves in with him by June of 1985. On June 25th, 1985, again not easy to find, he was arrested. Gerald is arrested for possession and delivery of a controlled substance in Oregon. So this is a problem. But it's so weird because it ends up not being prosecuted until something else happens later. And then I feel like, and this is a complete speculation, but just from like mob shit and doing a lot of reading, it feels like he was ratting people out. It feels like he got arrested, started ratting people out because his case was never taken, but was still active 3 years later.
Weird.
But was never prosecuted. So I feel like that's what he was doing.
They swept it under the rug.
Well, they hold it over. They hold it over his head, and they have the proof still. And if he stops cooperating or fucks up, then they can bang him with it. That's what they do. That's how they get. That's what they do with cooperators.
Smart.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you process them and then and you give them a lighter sentence right away for that, then everyone knows they're a rat and they're useless to fucking get any information. So anyway, I feel like that's what was happening when you find out when they prosecute him. So by 1987, they've lived together for about 4 years. Yeah. They live in this house. This whole area is basically a bunch of 5-acre plots. Okay. So they live on this 5-acre plot of land in the middle of nowhere in fucking militia country. So right away, it's very odd. She's 23 years old. He's 44. It's just a weird setup. The whole thing is very, very strange. Now, also, Gerald's son, his name is Bart. Yeah. Well, his name's Gerald Bart. They just gave him a different middle name, but Bart is the middle name.
That's fucked up.
Odd name. Gerald Bart. Yeah, very, very strange here. So, Bart here, Bart Batty is what they call him, which is a Bart Batty.
Go by GB Batty. At least it sounds like a bubble gum. You know
that sounds like a man with a derby and a
GB Batty here.
GB Batty here. That's fucking great. Yeah, he sells bubble gum, or he has like a circus that he wants you to come to.
Yes.
He's got a really good freak section. Yeah. I feel like that sort of, he's a showman.
Or it's like the fucking Little Rascals, where it's like a 3-foot man eating chicken.
Yeah.
And there's just a 3-foot man that's eating a bucket of chicken.
Like, oh, okay, I paid $1 for this. It's not what I expected. I have 2 bits of gander. Right. This is not what I wanted. So Bart and his girlfriend Kim they live on the property. This is always a bad news, by the way. Yeah. When people live in a property and then their kids set up shop in a trailer with their girlfriend on the property, that's always bad stuff. How many we've had that happen like 3-4 times?
It's always weird.
It's always weird. And Bart and Kim live on a trailer not too far from the main house here on the property. Now, also, there's a man named Howard Gray who is partners with Gerald Senior, with Gerald Batty. We'll call him Bart as the son. We'll call Gerald the father. Okay. So he's partners with Gerald in an outdoor weed farm in a remote location south of town near the California border. Okay. This is apparently a huge operation, too. This isn't like a fucking, somebody's backyard that he's got some tomato plants and he mixed in some weed and put a little cover over it.
This is Cheech and Chong up in smoke.
This is full blown Cheech and Chong Nice Dreams.
Nice Dreams.
Where they're pretending to swim on the hole in the roof. On the blue tarp while the helicopter circles and Pee Wee Herman's doing blow under the table. That's what we're talking about here. Nobody's seen that movie, by the way. So anyway, except for us, teenage stoners.
Weird.
What do you know?
And we didn't even know each other until after we'd seen
That's weird. Yeah, God, we would have got along great in high school. We would have had a lot of fun. That would have been great. We would have made fun of everybody. So anyway, they're in this. He's got this Grove. He's got a lot of things going on. He's selling coke or controlled fucking. He's selling upper shit, either coke or synthetic shit like that. He's selling that. He's got his kid on the property. He's got this young girl, this young lady here. He's got a weed farm south of town, which is a big responsibility, obviously, for anybody, as we all know.
And legal weed in Oregon too.
Oh yeah,
so
this is a bad thing. This is rebel shit here. This is we're in the middle of nowhere. This is our area. It's the same mentality that makes you say this is a good place for a militia, because no one's going to bother us here. Basically, we can grow a shitload of weed, nobody cares. It's the same shit.
This is Mobile, Alabama, Oregon. That's what this is.
Yeah. Well outside of Mobile.
Right.
And Mobile, though, they've got some standards. Damn it. Yeah, they got down by the ocean. That's $high property down there. Damn it.
This is the Holler, Gulf, Oregon. That's what this is.
This is down the holler. This is West Virginia, Oregon. That's what that is.
This is bananas.
It's fucking crazy. This is the Florida of the South, of the West, this town, which I figured out New Jersey is the Florida of the North. I've decided that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, New Jersey, but come to our live show and argue with me about it.
Here's the other part.
It's in New York, the live show, because we're not having it in Jersey.
If it wasn't, your airport's initials wouldn't be ill. Your initials are EWR.
Yeah. I have to say, though,
it doesn't make any sense.
Newark is my favorite of the New York metro airports. Yeah, it's the easiest to get in and out of.
If you're from back there,
though, like if you've got to give anybody rides or anything, that's the way to go, because you can go around everything, pop in. It's better than JFK, though.
If you got to connect through it, though, good luck running, motherfucker.
And LaGuardia is the devil's taint. It's the worst fucking place ever fucking constructed that people have traveled out of.
I'm flying into it and flying out of JFK.
LaGuardia is worse. There is like horse shit filled animal depots from 200 years ago that have more fucking cleanliness and class than LaGuardia. LaGuardia is the worst. Get your shit together, LaGuardia.
Flying into it's not that bad.
Jesus Christ.
Flying the fuck out of it sucks.
Yeah, there's people from other countries. You're embarrassing us with that fucking place. They're going to fly in and go, this is America?
This is it?
That's what I would do. If I flew here from another country picturing America and I landed at LaGuardia and I said, this dump is fucking America.
The name alone sounds horrible.
Falling apart. It's an Italian guy, a corrupt Italian mayor, but still.
Let's name it after him.
Back in the small period of time when that was like the Italians had power in the politics. We stole it from the Irish. Anyway, so error. This Laura, the girlfriend, the 23-year-old girlfriend, Laura tells Gerald one day, and this is weird. This is Gerald's contention, and we're not sure how true this is, and who the fuck knows? This is the thing. All we can tell is the actions that happen. We can't tell what motivated them or what order they happened in, and
precipitated it.
And that's the thing. And he seems to think that that's a big deal for some reason in this whole affair, and it's really not in the end. That's the thing. It's really just the end result of your actions at the time. So anyway, this Laura comes to Gerald one day and says that Kim she tells Kim, Bart, and Gerald, sits them all down and says that this is so weird. They claim that Laura claims that she says, I am involved in a plot with your partner, Howard Gray. This plot is to kill you, Gerald, which why would you tell someone I'm involved in a plot to kill you?
Unless you're changing your mind.
Unless you're going to turn sides here or some shit like that.
What is this, fucking Survivor?
This is very weird. Yeah, we're going to form an alliance. We're going to get Bart off the island. Excellent. What about the pollinator? We don't need him around, do we? If anybody's getting kicked off the island, it's fucking Gus the pollinator. I feel like he's first to go.
He won't put it away, therefore his tribe has spoken.
That's it. His tribe
out of here with your parade.
All he'll wear is a jersey and no pants. It's not right. Just a jersey with his name on it and number 69 because he thinks that's clever. He's got to go. He's got to fucking go, man.
And
sorry.
Pollinator is spelled with like a Y. Like, it's not even spelled right.
Pollinator,
right.
like many girls.
Right.
I'll fucking pollinate everybody.
And there's like an 8 for...
Yeah. Nate Tor. Bitch. Oh, that's the worst, man. So anyway, the part of the plot is, well, I mean, it's not just a plot to kill him. That would be a pretty lame plot. The plot is to kill him and steal a bunch of money that Gerald has hidden in the wall of the house.
Oh, he's that guy too.
Fuck yeah. Well, he's got cash. He's got a huge marijuana grow up, but he's got walls full of cash, which is crazy shit. This guy's sitting in the woods with walls full of cash with his young girlfriend and his kids living on a trailer and his weed farm. What a weird life this guy is living. Right away, you can picture this. This is
white trash El Chapo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is a weird movie is what this is. With I could see him with tunnels and shit too. I dug tunnels out. I did it when I was on meth, so I just did it with my hands.
And now they're full of water. God damn it.
Every damn time I come in. Where's the dehumidifier again? Jesus H. Christ. So, she says also, not only that, but they're going to take over the weed operation, obviously, and steal the profits from it. I don't know where they figured Bart into the equation. Yeah. Bart's less than 20. He's a teenager. So, I mean, I don't know if he's a threat. I don't know if it's like a, Don Corleone thing where they're going to try to kill him because he's going to take revenge. Right. Or I don't understand it, but whatever. They're going to take the profits. Now, apparently, from what he says, she tells him that, and then the rest of the night goes on.
And then they're just like, cool, thanks for telling me.
They're like, for real? All right.
Glad you
all
told
right.
us.
And they just shrug their shoulders, and that's it. And all right. Well, I guess I was going to kill us. I don't know. It's fine. So, the night goes by. I don't know if they had a normal night or if that was I would imagine a tension-filled night if it actually happened. The next day, though, for some reason, it took him a while. It takes him a while to process anger, this Gerald baddie. I think he's a little slow, maybe. Yeah. The next day...
James, it's a great place to be slow.
It's a little slower. That's what it is. Whether it's... Now, that's the thing. Whether it's talking to a neighbor in the aisles or, just the line taking a little longer at the post office or taking a day to realize that you're mad enough to slap your girlfriend twice and paintbrush her a bit and bruise her up and cut her lip open.
Okay.
Whether it's one of those, whichever the case may be for you, it's the slower pace, really.
So that's what he does.
That's what he does. The next day, he goes, I've been thinking about it. Yeah. I was okay with it at first, but the whole kind of kill me, steal the money from my walls and profits from my grow operation, I think I'm going to paintbrush you.
It's time. It's time to pay the piper, sugar.
It's time. I thought about it. Now, I said I'd hold back on judgment until tomorrow, and I have decided the sentence is paintbrushing. Yeah. Now, we're laughing at this, obviously. Obviously, this is a horrible thing, and it's not funny that he's paintbrushing this woman at all. It's
hilarious it took him so long.
It's hilarious that he said, this is hilarious that he says that this happened, but he says that it took him a day to be angry about it. That's what's ridiculous about it. It's ridiculous that he's lying so poorly, I feel like. Because, first of all, I don't believe that she ever said this to him because that just doesn't work.
I think the next day he suspected something was up and smacked the shit out of her because
that's what it was.
He's a paranoid lunatic.
Because he's a paranoid lunatic who does a lot of fucking, who does a lot of drugs.
A lot of fucking shady shit.
Yeah. And if he does a lot of coke and if you do a shitload of coke and everything, you get kind of paranoid. And if he's doing like any kind of synthetic shit, any sort of meth type substance, he's going to be really paranoid.
And then he's got a fuckload of weed that also does the same thing.
And he's sitting there with her and he's older and she's younger. He's going, I wonder if she's plotting against me. And this one I saw her looking at Howard, maybe Howard and her. I wonder if her and Howard are hooking it up together and they're going to get rid of me and take the weed money operations. Bitch. And then next thing you know, he's slapping and she's like, what are you doing? Like, I could see that fucking happening, which is horrible. I feel so, and she's 19 and when she started this in 23, that's so fucking young. And I just feel like, no, I just want to fucking,
4 years of being entrenched in that relationship it's not enough time to understand the unhingedness. Is that the word? The
4 years
instability.
No, you don't even know. Who knows?
The man's 40. What has he been through in his life? You don't know what triggers.
We do know what he's been through, and we're going to find out more shit he's been through too. So that's the problem. But he's been through plenty. He's had divorces and people suing him for fucking alimony and shit. Like that's some adult shit. It just is. I mean, if you're 19, you have no idea. What the fuck's up with that?
She doesn't even know who to talk to get alimony. Like she doesn't know anything about that.
No, she'd need to ask some. That's what I'm saying.
You have a lot of questions when somebody says, I'm paying alimony.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that, first of all?
How long do you have to do that for? So...
And you just pay that forever?
That's it. Well, all right. So, all right. So, a week after this happens, after the killer plot reveal, paintbrushing, bruised lip and shit here, Bart and Kim, the son and his girlfriend, leave home, and they tell Gerald they were going to be away for several days on a trip. Okay. So they're going away. Have a good one. I guess the farm is all yours. The woods are all yours, Dad. Enjoy the caves. So the next day after they leave, this is 1987, about 7 p.m., there's no one there but Gerald and Laura. Several neighbors from around the area, because I'd imagine that shit echoes through a valley like this, hear a gunshot from the direction of Gerald's property. Whoa. Now, one of them heard 3 shots, but gunshots, if you read anything, that's one of the things that people have the worst memory on. Yeah. People have the worst memory on 2 things: faces and numbers of gunshots. Yeah. Literally,
and people, we know that because of the fucking Zapruder film and the JFK assassination.
Well, people are also just terrible judges of faces. When they do studies, it's just people don't recognize people that are strangers. Yeah. It's not enough time to see someone for 2 seconds to register. That doesn't matter what they did to anybody or to you or how traumatized you were. Your brain still doesn't fucking remember it in 2 seconds.
Unless
well enough to be
right
reliable.
In front of your face and doing something repeatedly over and over again
for a long time. Right. Yeah, if someone flashes for 2 seconds, you can't do it. And especially cross-racially, people and mathematically, people are terrible at that. Yeah. Like literally, white people can't identify black people can't identify white people. Right. Nobody can identify fucking Asians, and Asians can't identify anybody else. Literally, that's what they say when they do the studies.
Asians can't identify Asians.
That's what I mean. No, they literally, like, it's weird. They can't identify anybody. No. It's very fucking strange. That's when they do the studies. Like, it's people like from immigrants that come here have no idea. They're like, I don't know, white guy, no fucking idea. Right, black crazy. Guy, no, I don't know. They all look the same. Yeah. That's what they say. It's fucking crazy.
Unless they're famous and they've been in front of them forever, you can just see somebody and go, that person looks like this.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what it is. So at this point, one, like I said, heard 3 gunshots. One of the neighbors. So this is unreliable data. What people hear, and especially if there's any kind of hills or things echo and there's sound is the weirdest shit ever. You'll hear something loud here, and then 20 feet over, if there's some kind of
a divot in the ground,
some weird thing where you won't hear anything. Sound is the strangest thing in the world. So another neighbor heard a male voice scream, get out, at the time of the gunshots. Okay. So 1 to 3 shots and supposedly a male voice yelling, get out at the top of the lungs. Unless that echoed too. Good call. That could have very well just been an echo. So it was 1 gunshot, 1 get out. That's it. 1.5 gunshots. 1 get out. That's what we have.
Okay.
So, about 2 hours after this, nobody thinks to call anybody, by the way, from get out and gunshots. That sounds like a problem.
Yeah.
When you hear get out and then a gunshot, someone's going to need help probably.
Start walking towards that sound.
Well, no, I'm not going near that sound.
Or call police towards that sound.
Yeah, or at least look out the blinds and see what's going on. Yeah. Don't just turn around and do nothing. Yeah. By the way, I remember one time I used to live in this shit neighborhood, and I had Easter at my house, and we were outside. It was nice outside, and for some reason, I don't know if people were leaving or what, but everybody was gathered out front, and my grandmother was out there and a bunch of other people, and down the street about 15 houses, there was a drive-by where they shot at this house across the street right there, and it was just, pop, 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 and then they fucking drove by the house and just kept going and went about their business. And so somebody grabs their phone and starts calling the cops, and my grandmother fucking lost it. Ma, what the hell are you doing? Ma, what are you doing? That's none of your business. Ma, that's none of your business. What do you care what people do? That's none of you. Go inside, you turn away, that's not your... And I was just like, oh my God, she just went total 1940s. Fuck, it was the funniest thing ever.
She just became a gumad.
Yeah, she said, get inside, and what are you doing? That's none of your business down there.
You look at your feet.
I was like, that's amazing. She's 78 years old at the time. She's just like, what's wrong with you?
The guy I grew up with at 15 got a Tech 9 for whatever reason. And in the
not a good one, probably.
No, there are 0 good Tech 9s.
Probably, I don't understand why you'd want one.
It must have been all Italians in that neighborhood, because there's a little wash behind his house, and he used to go back there and shoot the Tech 9 into the ground just to fire it, to show his friends, look what I got. Pop, pop, then it jams, pull the bullet out. Pop, pop, it jams. 32-round clip.
It's a complete piece of shit.
And it jams every 6
You're
bullets.
like, how come Biggie didn't rap about this when he was talking about these? I never heard him be like, pop, pop, then my shit jam. That never happened once. Never. That was never a fucking lyric.
Pop, I missed both times because the barrel's an inch and a half long, and then I beat the shit out of him with the gun because that's the most use you're getting out of it.
Use my shit like a club then. Yeah. I don't fucking know. That's what it would be.
Worthless. Anyway, and he used to do this all the fucking time.
That's insane.
That kid's dead now. Weird, right?
No shit, really? It's a goddamn shocker, I have to say. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about our great sponsor, Madison Reed.
Madison Reed, Madison-Reed,
oh, that's
REED.com.
You have to go there, guys. Well, I should say ladies here. This is for you guys. This is the best hair color you can get out there, the best at-home hair color.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah, this is better than going to a salon because you're going to get it cheaper and you're going to get it. It's going to be less expensive. You're going to have more control over it. And with a great product like Madison Reed, it is actually just as high quality. Jimmy, I look at your head right now and I see it's screaming for some Madison Reed.
Fill it in.
Now, obviously, we are two men. I have short brown hair. I have no need for any kind of color. Jimmy has hardly any hair at all, so really no need for a color there. We could just paint his head with a Sharpie, but if he did need color, he would use Madison Reed.
Madison-Reed.
Madison-Reed.com, because it's for decades, women have had really no options for this. They can have kind of a lousy hair coloring at home, or they can have this super expensive, complicated process that takes 3 hours at the salon and that whole thing. But now you can have this amazing color. It's salon quality for less than $25. That's amazing. From what I understand, they are reinventing hair color, at home hair color, and it's working. It's working, and it's a lot of what it is women you guys are busy. That's all there is to it. You're busy. A lot of times you don't have time to go somewhere for 3 hours, or you don't want to pay that kind of money. You're busy, so join all the women who are doing this life-changing, awesome thing and coloring their hair with Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at Madison-Reed, REED.com. Madison Reed would like to honor Small Town Murder listeners with 10% off plus free shipping on their first color kit. All you have to do is use the promo code SMALL. That's promo code SMALL, Madison-Reed.com.
Madison-Reed, REED.com, promo code SMALL, and get 10% off and free shipping. And now back to the show.
Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Simply Safe Home Security.
SimplySafe.com.
That is SIMPLI Safe.com. We love this alarm system. This is a really awesome, convenient, it gives you peace of mind. It's everything you need to protect your home, nothing you don't. Most of these alarm companies are really annoying because they load your home up with obnoxious hardwired technology and you wait forever to have it installed. You're bombarded with contracts and all this type of thing. Simply Safe is different. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It's security you actually want. It's designed so you won't notice it. You never have to think about it. It's that easy. It's intuitive. There's no contract. They work hard to earn your business. That's how they're going to keep your business. They're going to earn it. They're not going to just tie you in with a contract that you're forced to stay there.
Make you love it.
That's right. 24/7 monitoring, police and fire dispatch, just $15 a month for that, $15 a month. Comprehensive protection for your windows, doors, every single room, backups protecting your home. Even if you lose power, you lose internet, someone attacks the system, it's all backed up, no problem at all. It's won Editor's Choice Awards from CNET, PC Magazine, and The Wirecutter. And Simply Safe protects over 2 million people. Visit simplysafe.com today for free shipping and free returns on a 60-day risk-free trial. Go now, simplysafe.com/small. simplysafe.com/small.
SIMPLISAFE.com/small. And now back to the show.
So 2 hours after this incident of the gunshots and yelling and screaming and
holler.
it's like George Costanza's briefcase that he left running in there just to Get out.
I haven't seen near enough Seinfeld references.
Anyway, at this point, 2 hours later, Gerald goes to the home of two of his friends, Tim and Mary Ellen Lynn. These are his friends. Lynn is their last name. It's Tim and Mary Ellen. The Lynns.
Got it.
So he goes to their house. They said that he at this point was agitated and frightened at the same time, which is that's a weird combination.
Yeah.
If your meth dealer is both agitated and frightened at the same time,
he's mad and scared.
There's some shit that's a very, very I'm pissed off and I'm afraid of it. It's a very odd combination that you want to steer clear of at that point. I feel like
I'm furious and petrified.
Yeah, I don't know which emotion is going to take over at any given time.
What do you do? Well,
man, I just don't know what's going to happen from time to time. I get angry then. I was scared. Now I'm not.
I don't think I've ever been both of those at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you've never done what he did either. So
I mean, I was robbed at gunpoint. You know what? I have been twice.
Agitated, but agitated is the way. Agitated and frightened.
Yeah,
it's a very odd combination. He was pacing around, saying that Laura and others, a whole bunch. He said there was like a conspiracy, and they were all trying to kill him right then, and that's why he was freaking out. Okay. So he goes there in some sort of coke paranoia haze, saying that his 23-year-old girlfriend and a bunch of, quote, others are trying to currently kill him. Okay. And Tim and Mary Ellen are probably, I mean, they're looking at each other. Every time he paces away from them, they're looking at each other like, I don't fucking know what to do. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
How are we going to get him out of here? Oh, no, it's oh, really? That's Jesus Christ, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do. Do we offer, I don't know, offer him some coffee?
Do you think they even tried to validate his concerns by, like, peeking out the blinds a couple of times?
Maybe, like, oh, let's see if they're out there. Oh, nobody's coming.
Nothing.
Hey, want to smoke a joint and calm down, maybe? Like, I feel like that would be a good thing right now.
Would you like a beer?
Although he'd probably get more paranoid, this fucking guy. He doesn't seem like a fun guy to hang out with. So
no, he doesn't seem like he does well with drugs. No, he shouldn't be doing them.
He's not a guy he's not a 17-year-old or a 22-year-old kid who's recreationally doing some drugs to have a good time.
He's got a problem.
This is his business. Yeah. This is his life. This is what his life is drugs. He sells drugs. He does drugs. That's his life. He doesn't like work 9 to 5 and then have a weed farm on the side. And
this is his 401k.
Yeah, his weekend coke problem. His 401k is in his walls. He just knocks on the wall and goes, call this my 401k. And people are like, huh?
He has to water his Roth IRA.
He's got that too. So these two, Tim and Mary Ellen, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, but they encourage him to stay the night.
What?
Because you want paranoid, delusional, crazy, hopped up people to stay at your house, obviously. But
if they're friends enough that he came there with concerns,
yeah, maybe they believe him.
Maybe they're like, let's get him to sleep it off. He'll be all right in the morning.
Either that, or maybe they're also coked up paranoid people who are like, really? Oh my God, I knew that girl was up to something. And oh man, Jesus. And why don't you stay the night and in the morning we'll figure out how to kill everybody. All right, good.
I'll roll us a fatty.
Yeah, we'll just hang out. You know what, Mary Ellen, put some pizza rolls in the oven now.
Would you do it, please?
Not in the microwave. They come out mushy. I done told you about that.
That's so good.
150 they put them in the oven. They come out. I don't care if the cheese gonna leak out the side. You scoop it up and it's still goddamn good because it gets crispy.
He's crazy. We ain't got time for an oven.
Oh, damn it. You'll be all right till you ain't gonna have a meltdown psychotic episode before the pizza rolls is ready.
20 minutes of crazy. It's too much crazy.
It's only 420. I know it takes about 15 minutes for our oven to get up to 425. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna take a while. Then about 12 minutes for the pizza rolls. I do about 14 because I want to burn that cheese, like I said, and makes it a little better. You scoop it up. But just do all right, put them in the microwave. Never mind.
Crispy.
Damn it. I forget. Can you start them in the microwave? Is there like them French bread pizzas? Is there a half and half option?
Somebody tweeted me a hack for those that you bite the corner and then you can blow inside.
That's what I do. Yeah.
It doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, no, it does.
No,
if you do,
not
especially if some of the cheese is leaked out, because then you get an airflow going through the hole in the side and the hole that you've created in the corner.
Maybe that's the problem.
And you have to make sure you're biting you have to like hold it so the cheese leaks down to the other side. Bite the corner so it doesn't then pour into your mouth.
Right.
Then you blow on it, and then it will only burn off part of the gums on the roof of your mouth. Not all of them though. And not all. If it's a Red Baron pizza, you can wait an hour and a half, and it'll still lava. It'll melt its roof of your mouth. So I've said that before. I have a joke about it in stand-up where and I believe this, if I want to commit suicide, I'm going to eat an entire Red Baron frozen pizza and then have like 3 bowls of Captain Crunch and bleed out on my kitchen floor. That's how I'm going to kill myself.
That makes sense.
It's a joyous way to go out. It'd be bloody as shit.
Out full.
Full and happy. So they encourage him to stay the night. About 9 p.m., Gerald, this is another odd call, Gerald calls his mother at 9 p.m. So you know this is a 44-year-old man, okay, who is freaked out and saying that his girlfriend and his fellow drug conspirators are plotting to kill him. So you call your mom, obviously, who's in her late 60s. Yeah, in Arkansas. I got to call mom in Arkansas who's in her late 60s and tell her all about, like she's going to fucking help.
Right.
Well, dear, I don't know. I guess those methamphetamines, I told you about that business. Have you tried heroin?
Load up your double barrel, Ma. Get on the rocking chair and have Jed drive you here.
Come on down.
Because we got trouble.
No, bring Jethro, too. We're going to need him. I need a big fella.
He's strong.
He's strong now. So he stays the night. He telephones his mother about 9 o'clock and tells her all about this shit.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. He just paced back and forth for 2 hours in front of them and she tells his mother in exhausting detail. And his mother's just got to be like, Jesus Christ, I was watching my programs.
What have I done?
I was watching my programs. The local news was going to come on, and then this asshole calls me.
I answered the phone.
Reruns of Mama's Family were about to pop on.
All I had to do was let it ring.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I had to do. Just let it ring.
Well, how'd I just let that annoyance get a hold of me?
Then when you're old, though, people think you're dead and they send the police over if you don't answer. So you got to answer. You have to answer your phone when you're over the age of 65.
I have to get up on that tall ladder and pretend to be swimming again.
Yeah. If I call like my dad and I don't hear back from him in 24 hours, I assume he's dead. I'm going to call the cops and assume that it's some sort of weird double suicide with him and my stepmother. Some strange thing. He like pulled his motorcycle into the fucking living room and decided to go out.
Just let it idle.
Yeah, just let it idle. And while she drank a glass of fucking wine and he had a beer while they watched.
Enjoy your white wine. Yeah. I'm drinking this Miller. Potato. It'll be over in a minute.
They watch Seinfeld reruns. And slowly
turn
go to sleep.
Turn it up louder. The Vance and Hines pipes are so loud.
Hold on. Turn it down. The Virgin's on. I want to watch this one. It's funny. It's got Daphne in it. I'm afraid. Yeah, I know. Okay. So he tells his mom, I'm at my friend's house now, because his mom's like, where the hell are you, Gerald? What's going on here? And he tells his mom, I'm at the Lynn's house. They're not trying to kill me. They're not part of the conspiracy. So that's true, too. If he thinks that the people closest to him, his business partner and his girlfriend, are both involved in a conspiracy to kill him, he must really trust these people because they're in more of an inner circle than them.
Customers.
Well, yeah, I guess in his mind, it's who the fuck knows. So at some point in the night, Gerald crawls out of the window of the guest room of the Lynn's house.
Up top?
Why
single floor?
I'm going to say this is probably a single floor establishment, just based on the fact of what we're talking about here. We're not dealing with 2-story type folks here.
Okay,
this is a 1-story environment. I feel like all around. Not that there's anything wrong with 1-story homes whatsoever. We live in Phoenix, where most things are 1-story. Amazing houses that are 10,000 square feet are 1-story, but I don't feel like there's a lot of on the 3rd floor in the master. I don't feel like that's said a lot in this area, just based on the real estate. It's mainly just lots.
From time to time, you got a 2-story, but it's mostly in new builds. There are very few old houses that are 2-story,
and they just use it as a gun turret in these parts anyway. So they're like, we just station a fellow up there in case the federal government come and knocking.
It was an unlivable attic until they lowered the ceilings and made it fucking livable. And now James has got a duck to come inside.
Now it's perfect. Now it's like some sort of sniper barracks.
It's a nest.
It's a nest. So, by the way, next week's episode we have a nest.
Do we?
You'll see. It's crazy.
Like a fucking bird's nest shooting nest?
Boy, no, not a shooting nest. Actually, it's next week's one. It's insane. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to this week. Okay. So, he climbs out their window. He drives to his house in the middle of the night. Okay, so he decides in the middle of the night, I can't even go out the front door for some reason, or a door. He climbs out the window, much like George Costanza taking an IQ test and passing it off to Elaine. So anyway, he does that, and he gets back to his house and he's seen burning in the middle of the night, burning several plastic garbage bags full of trash. Okay. He's seen out there, he's got a garbage burn. Like all these houses have like a burn place, much like Making a Murderer. Like it's the same type of thing. They have a burn pit in the backyard. And so he's got his own burn pit, and they see him burning trash in the middle of the night, which is always a little bit disconcerting, I feel like.
And with open land like that, that shit glows a long way.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a bad plan.
Yeah, well, I feel like anyway, just anyone burning trash in the middle of the night who I know is the neighborhood meth dealer, I'm probably a little suspicious of what's happening here.
You wake up, you see it, and you go, I'll call the police about that in the morning.
All right. And you go back to sleeping. I'll see what happens there. I
just stuttered like a son of a bitch to that. Jesus.
Yeah, it was hard to get through.
That hurt.
So, while he's burning the trash, okay? Now, this is his claim. Like we said, we have no way of verifying this. He claims that at about 5:30 a.m. while he's still burning this trash. So he's been up all night, pacing, people going to kill him, burning the trash. He says at about 5:30 a.m. someone appears in the shadows. A man's voice comes out from the shadows, a shadowy figure that says, quote, "You're a dead man." That's very, very...
That's fucking terrifying.
That's terrifying. He said that he saw one or possibly two other people. So it's 1 to 2 people, shadowy figure, you're a dead man.
All right.
So, all right. Rather than shrug and say, all right, he ran away through the Oregon forest. He ran away through the woods, which is... scary. That's the thing in a horror movie. If someone popped up and they were in their yard and they said, "You're a dead man," you'd go, "Don't run in the woods," and they'd run in the fucking woods. You go, "Well, now you're fucking dead because you're going to trip on a log and fall, and they're going to catch you and mutilate you and hang you from a tree upside down like Predator." You know what's going to happen. You just see it coming. A root is going to come. You fall face first. It's over, man. So anyway, get through it.
You're not looking at the ground. You're looking over your shoulder constantly.
Yeah,
you're going to run into a tree.
You're going to run into a tree. It's bad stuff. So he runs away. He says that this 1 or 2 people chased him through the woods too, who takes off. So now this is a shadowy figure who's there, obviously for murderous purposes, chasing you through the woods. But
can't catch a 40-year-old man.
Can't catch a 40. Well, not a methed up 40-year-old man.
That's a good point.
Who's burning a suspicious pile of trash. He says that they chased him into the woods, but these are his woods. So I mean, dark or not, he knows him, and he doubled back.
Oh, brilliant!
He doubled back on him and got back to his place. He said he attempted to start his van. This is the van he drove from the Lynn's house, so this is an operational vehicle as of 2 hours ago, and it wouldn't start. So he's like, shit, this is a horror movie. He ran in the woods. He thinks he's away from him. He gets in the van. Thank God.
Click.
Now you expect a guy to pop up from behind him and start strangling him, or pop up next to the window. But instead he gets out of the van.
And there's a hook on the handle.
And his car has no wheels. And here comes the pollinator. He's like, no.
Just a jersey.
Next thing you know, all his windshield is that's why he's a shadowy figure.
Gooey.
Oh, his whole windshield's covered and he can't drive. It's like being slimed.
He hits the windshield wiper, it just smudges
it. It just smears it. No. And then a man pops out and strangles it.
Right.
That's it right there.
With his dick.
Gotta watch out for the pollinator every time. So he instead pops out of the van and runs to a neighbor's house. So that's his deal. He said that their car was parked in front of their house, the neighbor's car, and it had their keys in it like it usually does. So these people, this is kind of a rural area to the point where they leave their keys in their car, which I don't care how rural it is. It's not hard to take keys. It's not like they're attached to a cinder block and you have to drag it into the house like a prisoner ball.
It's so weird.
It's keys. Put them in your pocket, walk into the house. It's you know what? Put your house keys at the same ones as your car keys. You'll keep them together. You'll always have them with you.
It's your fault for strapping the plunger to it like a gas station. Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is. They always say there's no such thing as asking for it. Right. This is asking for it. You're asking for it at this point. This is terrible. So
can we stop that? By the way, stop attaching giant fucking things to the key on the toilet. Stop.
Oh, they've been doing that for 50 years.
It's gross.
If you want the key that badly, the hubcap is not going to deter you, or the fucking
what's going
giant
on in there?
stick.
They're doing drugs. That's what I've heard is the deterrent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's every bathroom has people shooting up in it now.
Does a meth head not want to carry the fucking
well, that's the thing.
The salad tosser to the bathroom?
Well, their theory is actually, I knew a guy who worked at a gas station, and this is what the owner of the gas station told him.
I'm going to want to fucking choke this owner.
In an angry Pakistani accent.
Oh, what an asshole.
He said, you give key, they steal key, come back, do drug in bathroom when you have no key. Then they lock you out the phone bathroom, and you have to get another key. Cost me $100 locksmith.
Leave it fucking unlocked.
So, yeah.
They're going to do drugs anyway.
They're going to have it only locked from the inside. Right. Well, then people OD in there, and you can't even get in.
Well, good.
So it's a fucking problem.
Gives a shit?
That's what I'm saying.
That's one less lane occupied on the freeway.
The problem with them is, though, their toilets then also occupied.
Whatever.
They're like, now we have to clean up junkie corpse. No, I don't get paid enough. So that's the problem, I think, with that.
I hate that. I hate germs, and I don't want to touch the fucking key.
I like when it's wooden, so it's a porous thing where there's no possible way it could be sanitized. It's got shit juice in it. It's got shit juice soaked deep into the balsa. I know it fucking does. Yes. Don't tell me it doesn't.
Right.
You didn't put finish on that shit.
Don't make me carry a filthy key back to some fucker. Somebody at Subway. Subways do it. Why am I carrying a filthy key back to a man and handing it to a man who's about to make me a turkey on fucking white?
I have been to Subway several times where they've had to call the cops because somebody was in the bathroom for like an hour and a half shooting up and fell asleep in there. So that's why I think they do. That happens several times.
Good.
They wake them up and they're like, "What? I was just going to the bathroom." And they're like, "No, you weren't just going to the bathroom.
You still have a fucking rubber band around your arm.
You're still tied off, mister." So this guy, he gets to the thing. The keys are in the car. So he didn't knock on the door and say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I?" He just jumped in and took the car.
This is theft.
This is theft auto. This is unauthorized use of a vehicle. It will be later on. Actually, he takes the car and drives to the Lynn's house back there. He didn't call the neighbors to tell them. Also, he could have called the neighbors from the Lynn's house and be like, "Hey, man chasing me through the woods saying I'm a dead man, tried to kill me. I grabbed your car. I'm over at the Lynn's."
My van wouldn't start.
By the way, there's killers right by your house, so you might want to watch out for that.
Yeah.
You know, that's there. No, doesn't tell them shit, just takes the car and goes to their friend's house. Now, about 10:30 in the morning, this is the next morning, Gerald's mother and sister are concerned about him. And they go to his house, okay? Yeah. At this point, they go to his house. They notice a fire smoldering in his trash pile is still burning in the ground behind the house, and they go back around the back of the house. They think maybe he's back there since there's trash burning. Instead, what they find is a partially burned body in the trash heap.
Oh boy.
So this is not great. They find the body. They were afraid that it was his body, they said. Yeah. They were afraid, because he called with this crazy story. People are trying to kill me, and now there's a fucking smoldering body behind his house. Yeah. If you're his mother, you'd be concerned, especially he's a little fucking kooky.
Sure.
And gets into some weird shit here. So what they do is they scrape ash and dirt from the teeth of the burned person.
The mom does?
The mom gets down there to try to see if it's her son, which is, that's some mother shit right there.
That's balls.
I don't know if a father would jump in there, start scraping ash off the teeth, or if they'd be like, "We need to call somebody."
Is she a dentist?
No, she's just looking to see if it's him. He probably has
specific teeth.
Yeah, he's a 44-year-old meth addict. So I feel like his teeth.
Missing that bicuspid?
Yeah,
I
feel like
him.
There's a couple he only got half of one of them incisors, and he's got a piece of one of them, and none of the front ones at all. They ain't there at all.
The smilers are all gone.
No, they're all gone. Instead, what they realize by scraping the ash off the face and teeth, the sister realizes that this is Laura Britton. This is
how much do they look at each other's teeth?
Well, not by the teeth. You can see by her face too once they turn it over and do all that. But I think the teeth were the first thing. Like, check and see if half his teeth are missing. Nope. Okay. Well, who the fuck could it be? Oh shit, it's Laura.
Who do we know with 24 teeth?
Yeah, that's so. These two actually do the first people in the story to do anything remotely like the right thing. They immediately call the police because they found a corpse burned in a fucking backyard. They didn't like say, let's talk to Gerald first and see what he has to say. They immediately call, and for whatever reason, they did not call Gerald even though they knew that he was at Tim's house. They didn't know Tim, but if they asked around, they probably could have figured it out, but they didn't. They just fucking called the cops, and that was that, which smart. I mean, what else do you do? So later that day, now the cops come, and we'll talk about that in a second, but they find Laura back there. While that's all happening, he's at the Lynn's house. He eats and showers, and you got to get yourself back together. Took a nice shit and had a good breakfast. Took in some Saturday morning cartoons, and just really got ready for the day, I feel like. Read the paper. Then at this point, Gerald calls his mother again from the Lynn's. This fucking guy he's the most in touch with his family, drug dealing
40-year-old
fucking scumbag 44-year-old they've ever heard.
That's
44. Right. At that point, his sister tells him, hey, I found Laura's body smoldering behind your house. Not funny, obviously, but holy shit. Right. An odd thing to tell him. Oh, by the way, weird. Hey, on a side, quick, what'd you do today? Oh, that's great. Really? That happened? Wow, yeah, she's kind of a bitch sometimes. Did I tell you, by the way, behind your house, smoldering body?
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Strange.
Wow, super weird. Not usually there, honestly. It's a new thing. So he she tells him that. At that point, when he got there, he didn't tell the Lynn's about you're a dead man being chased through the woods by shadowy figures, stealing a car and driving over there. That's something he comes up with later on. Okay. He didn't tell the Lynn shit. The Lynn's just, as far as they knew, he showed up and he's there. Right. So
there's a weird car in the driveway.
Yeah, it's at this point, once he's told that, everybody knows that your girlfriend's dead behind the house, now he tells the Lynn's, oh, by the way, did I tell you why I came over here? It's because I was being chased. I was burning some trash when shadowy figures said I was a dead man. So that's something he probably would have been the first thing out of his mouth based on his behavior before.
Fuck yeah.
When he burst in the door telling them everything that happened.
Right.
So now with what ends up happening is Tim Lynn and Gerald drive the car, the neighbor's car, which is a stolen car at this point. They drive it to a remote area way out and pull it into the woods and leave it there.
Whoa.
They abandon the car.
That makes zero sense.
That's what I'm saying. That's super fucking shady. At that point, you got to be really suspicious of Gerald. Then, if you're not suspicious already, like, I got to get rid of this car, Gerald takes his shoes off and throws them into the woods.
Okay.
Which is, again, an odd thing.
Yeah.
How many times have you been with people where they threw their shoes into the woods and then wanted to leave? Took them off their feet and decided, I don't need these anymore, but I need to throw them in a remote area to make sure they're not found.
I've seen nobody do anything weird with their shoes ever.
No, probably not.
I had a coworker who called in sick because he couldn't find one of his shoes.
That's a little weird.
So now every
time...
Did
he throw it into the woods and then he couldn't find it the next day?
Now every time he's late, when he shows up late, we go, couldn't find your shoe.
Couldn't find your shoes, huh? That's pretty goddamn funny. That's fucking funny.
Everybody goes, where's Marvin? Somebody goes, does he have his shoes?
He comes in hopping.
We're just going to call him One Shoe Marv from now on.
Comes in on a crutch. Yeah. Sorry, guys. So this whole thing is nuts here. He throws his shoes into the woods at this point and then tells the Lynn's, the couple, say, look, here's the deal. Here's what you guys need to do. You need to lie when you're asked, because you're going to get asked about this. You need to lie and say that you picked me up the previous night. I never came back to my house. You picked me up the night before. I didn't drive over here in the van, then drive back to my house, then drive over here in a stolen car, drop it off in the woods, and throw my shoes after it. None of that shit happened, okay? What happened is you picked me up. I came to your house, stayed there the whole night, and I'm still here. That's the plan, okay?
But why? You know, like there's no...
It's a party.
Just call the police and be like, my girlfriend is behind my house. I don't know why. Here's my story where I was.
Well, what he does is he gets his story straight with them, and he says, you picked me up. I was here all night. Okay, alibi, good. Yeah. Then he calls the cops because he knows they're after him. Yeah. Then he calls the cops, and they came and arrested him, obviously. Right. I don't know if he thought they were just going to come and go, so what happened, fella? Right. And he was going to go, I was here all night. And they go, all right, have a good one. And they just left. But they arrest him for murder. They arrest him for unauthorized use of a vehicle.
They found it?
Oh, yeah, they found the vehicle later on. Possession of an illegal firearm. And, of course, possession of a controlled substance because he's been up for days doing this shit. Think about this. Have you heard the word sleep in this whole thing yet? Not once. Not a wink.
That night, he was up all night pacing.
Yeah.
Matter of fact.
All night pacing, burning trash,
jumping
coming
out
back.
windows.
This is the next day. He talked to his mom. He showered. He dumped a car. He threw his fucking shoes off. And now the cops are arresting him. Got a story straight. Like, I got to say, his brain's firing on all cylinders for being up for this long. That meth is a hell of a fucking substance there, I'll tell you.
He's not painting a bad picture of cocaine at this moment. I'm telling
you. Got a lot on your plate? Meth. Clean that plate up and then have a little bit more afterwards. One more line just for good luck.
Have dessert.
So a little dessert line. So, Jesus Christ. So he's arrested for all this shit. Now, he has a theory, because they ask him, did you kill her? And he's like, fucking of course not. Jesus Christ, what do I look like, a murderer? No.
I'm a meth head.
Obviously, yeah. I'm a drug dealer, not a murderer. So that's from a movie also, I don't know. So it is. So anyway, at this point, he says, okay, this is what happened here. Now, but the night before this happened, let me go back, she told me that she had a conspiracy to kill me, her and Howard Gray, and others, obviously, who want to take over my vast marijuana empire, and, of course, my stash of my 401k that I keep inside the drywall here.
The drywall cat.
Drywall 1K. I have that here. So that's what happened. So what probably happened was, because she told me about it, I bet she went back and told them that she told me, because she disappeared. So
there's a lot of I'm telling this person.
What happened was
What happened was Stucco 1K.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Unbelievable.
So he says when she told one of her co-conspirators about the breach of their plan, what must have happened was they turned on her and killed her, and that's what happened. And then when he was out burning trash, obviously light bulb,
boom,
they came to kill him next. He, of course, got away because, he's fucking Rambo, and he ran through the woods and then stole a car. He said, so at that point, they said, what the fuck? This is perfect. We're at his house. He's gone. We'll burn her here.
Right. 2
birds with one stone. She's dead. Can't pin it on us, and he'll get blamed for it because it's in his yard.
Boom.
Genius conspiracy. This is really.
Drop.
This is a
deputized.
Yeah, this is a top level conspiracy that he's got here.
So I'm gonna have to go ahead and ask for chief of police.
Yeah. So
now.
We're gonna have to. I think I'm gonna run this department from now on. I think you fellas.
I have cracked the case.
Give me your badge and your gun. That's it. I'm sorry. You're off the case, mister.
You didn't solve this.
You're off the case, mister. That's
badge and gun.
Badge and gun belongs to me. Damn it, Johnson. Going out on the street.
You are on paid administrative leave, sir.
Oh, my God.
That's amazing.
So he says all of that, and the cops look at him and go, what are you, fucking stupid? It's your girlfriend. She's burned in your yard, dummy. Right. No, you're a fucking idiot. They said, here's our theory of the case. You shot her because there's a fucking gunshot wound in her we'll talk about.
Oh, boy.
You shot her, went to the Lynn's house to talk to them about an alibi, and then returned to your house to burn the fucking body. That's what we think happened.
Mic drop.
Pretty simple, actually.
I'm actually a deputy.
And I'm already deputized. No, you don't need to put your pad and pen away. I'm already deputized. So they said, we have a lot simpler theory of the case, really, honestly, because yours is a little convoluted, let's just say. So, but we're going to charge you with murder. Just we'll see how it shakes out in the old court of law here.
Very good.
So October 8th, 1987, he pleads guilty to murder, or not guilty to murder, okay? Not guilty. Okay. Now, let's find out exactly what happened to this poor Laura. This is not funny at all. This is fucking horrible, and the type of person that could do this to a person, you'd look at it and go, this can't be somebody's first rodeo doing this shit, because she had not only been shot, she had been decapitated. And I'm talking fucking
all the way out.
The right way, like someone knew how to cut a head off. Her body had been sawed in two at her lower pelvis.
Oh, no.
He cut the body in half like a magician at the pelvis and cut her head off there. Partially burned bones and internal organs from her body were recovered from the smoldering fire. A bullet was found close to what was left of her torso, so the bullet burned out of her torso, fell out that way. A pathologist testified that injuries were consistent with death caused by a gunshot wound, so he shot her. This is like a crazy mob hit. Yeah. Shot her, cut her head off, fucking sectioned her up, and took her out to burn her. It's fucking crazy.
He doesn't know bodies don't burn.
Well, no, if Too Bad Small Town Murder wasn't around a long time ago, we could have told you bodies don't burn very well unless there's a fuckload of accelerant or the fire is way hotter than anything you're going to get in a burn pit. You know, if you have an incinerator, okay, fine. Now you're talking like a 1940s New York apartment building incinerator. Yeah, that's 1400 degrees. You could burn up a body in there. But
he could use us like the prospectors could have used Netflix.
That's what I'm saying. Your Duraflame log isn't going to solve your problem. It's not going to fucking burn this lady. So now his argument, Gerald's argument here, is that this is amazing. Not only does the evidence not okay. First of all, he says, number one, I'm not involved in the death. That's obvious. But number two, the evidence doesn't even really show, he has the balls to, or his lawyers have the balls to put this out in court, doesn't even really show that Laura actually died of criminal homicide even. She accidentally shot herself. That's possible. And then fucking decapitated herself. And then when that was done, decided to saw her or the other way, really. Let's be realistic. She cut her legs off at the pelvis and then said, I can't take it anymore.
It's just a mere flesh wound.
And then guillotined herself into an ongoing burning fire.
Unbelievable.
Because she's very, you know what, she cleans after herself always. She's always known as a very courteous person.
Unbelievable.
If she comes, she puts a cup down, she wipes up the condensation afterwards on your table.
It's always on a coaster.
It's just fucking courtesy, and Laura has it. And this is insane to say that.
She carries a coaster and a fucking napkin everywhere she goes.
It's one thing, always. She cleans it up. There's a little glass cleaner behind her. But it's one thing, and it's insulting enough to say that you didn't do it when it's, you know, whatever, pretty clear that you did. But besides that, it's worse to say that, to say it's not even really sure that she died the way you say she died. So like, that's just insulting to her, I feel like. That's like, you can't even admit to obvious, it's ridiculous. I don't know.
It's spitting on a smoldering body.
That's what it is. It is. And saying, I'll put it out. Yeah, I feel very, very bad for this Laura. I feel like she never had a chance, and I feel like she was in the clutches of a fucking monster and never knew it, and this was all just a matter of time, basically. Now, the trial, he's charged with murder and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Those are the charges they stick with here. Now, the evidence is all circumstantial, obviously. Nobody saw him fire the gun. Nobody saw him cut up the body and put it on the fire.
They don't even have a murder weapon.
They never found a murder weapon either. They found a different gun, but not the gun he shot her with, or whatever, allegedly at the time.
Whatever she was shot with.
Whatever she was shot with. Now, this is, but it's I mean, Jesus Christ, unless it's one of two things. Either he killed her and did it pretty obviously, or what he said is true, which seems a little far-fetched. So if those are the only two things. Now, testimony from his mother, which she repeated what he told her on the telephone call, saying when he called from the Lynn's the night before the body was found. Now, he said, the prosecutor says that he's just doing this to establish motive, now the prosecutor, to establish motive for murder, said basically got that Gerald told his mother that Laura had made arrangements for someone to kill him, and he didn't know why. Now, I don't know, Gerald's using this as like, that's good for me, and the prosecutor's using it as, that's motive to either, if you thought that was true, then it would make sense that you would try to kill this woman. It makes it even worse. Like, now it's obvious. Now you have a motive. Thanks. Before that, you're just a psychopath.
Appreciate you.
Now we have a motive. Thanks a lot that you made up on your own. Now, this cross-examination from the defense counsel, he says to her, quote, did Gerald tell you anything that had led up to the conclusion of that these people were in danger? And she said yes. And he said, how did he describe the progression of events? How did it start? How did it develop as he told you? Now, at this point, the state objects, saying that all of this is hearsay. This is all his own. This is like when like fucking Dick Cheney would do something and then put a story out in the newspaper saying that he did something that he didn't. You can't do like you're making your own story.
But it's
basically.
not hearsay because she heard it and she's
from
sitting
him
right
though.
fucking there.
But she's trying this. They're trying to get at it's. He's basically trying to get his testimony through his mother, which is what you're not allowed to do. That's why hearsay is not allowed.
But I mean,
and it's also not another person. It's him.
Yeah.
So it's not, he could get up there if you want to get up there and say that's what happened. Then you get up there and say it.
Yeah, but they get it
it's
all
hard.
the time from a prisoner. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, it's true. It's true. And the state objected, saying that the questions called for inadmissible hearsay. The defense said that the evidence was admissible and relevant because it showed his mental state when the call was made, that he was very scared. The court ended up sustaining the objection, though, and not allowing it, saying that the questions called for hearsay and it wasn't subject to any exemption in this particular case. He makes an extensive offer of proof, they call it, which his mother was questioned about a number of topics in the telephone conversation. She said that his statements about the whole thing, strange occurrences at his house in the weeks preceding the murder, such as rocks hitting the roof in the middle of the night and objects disappearing only to be back days later.
What?
This is shit that people on a lot of fucking stimulants think. Yeah. There's rocks. That shit was missing. Then it's back. And this is paranoia. Right. That's what that is. It's fucking crazy. So, so they're saying all this in court, which is just making him sound even crazier. Honestly, I don't think this is helping him. He repeated this over and over to her, she says.
But was it like toilet paper's gone and now it's back?
That's
like,
what I mean.
Happens,
what?
Dude.
I lost my keys and now I found them. Like the remote was there, I swear to God, and then it was under the cushion. It was gone, but then I found it. So does that mean someone took it and then hid it? Who knows what he's talking about? This is coke delusions. That's the other thing. Anything he says is subject to a shrug and what the fuck, who knows? So at the close of the state's case, Gerald's attorney moves for a judgment of acquittal before it even goes to
before it's even
judgment of acquittal, right? Judge, let's just fucking end this, right? Obviously, this whole thing's been a farce. What are we even letting it go to? What are we doing here? Let's just get this over with.
Why are we wasting those 12 people's time?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Let them get back to
Come
work.
on, people are busy. They have no time for the people just aren't interested. That's what it is. The lawyer assigns error to the court's denial of his motions to get an acquittal right now. He says, I'm going to appeal this later on if this comes up, buddy, and all that kind of shit. What ends up happening in June of 1988, they find him guilty of murder, which is not a big shocker here, especially just if you looked at the guy and heard his history and all this, you'd be like, yeah, I could see that. And the way he's acting, it sounds plausible. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, life in prison with a 25-year minimum.
Okay.
Also a bunch of fines, which we'll talk about in a minute. $100,000 fine on the murder charge, which is... You ever heard that before?
Never.
Okay, there's a reason for that. Also,
didn't have a permit to burn.
No permit to burn, son. This isn't burning season.
That's $100,000, bro.
Now, the sentence for that is the pollinator gonna come over and put it out for you. Now that's gonna be disgusting and reek up your whole yard.
It's gonna stink a while.
It's gonna stink a while.
Like a weed fire.
A while. It's gonna be bad.
You ever burn weeds? Not weed, but weeds.
You ever smell a bleach factory burn to the ground? No, son? All right, then. Well, you have now. Wait till you get back to your property.
That is now the grossest thing ever. That is fucking disgusting. Is that what burnt jizz smells like?
I have no fucking idea. That was just the worst thing I could think of.
My nose burned saying that.
That's the worst thing I could think of, literally. That's in the half a second I had to come up with that, that's the worst thing I could think of. That's all it is.
That is disgusting.
I had very limited window there to have that. So,
we hit a new low.
We have new low, everybody. It'll be our new segment of the show. The new low.
We're about to hit a new low, a new low.
And it wasn't you with the disgusting jizz joke. That's the thing. I've been heavy on the jizz this week, really.
Yeah, I haven't really put much thought into what jizz smells like right up until you said burned bleach factory.
I've been bullish on jizz this week. What's up with that? Burn down that.
You're really
factory.
forcing your jizz on us.
I am. It's a jizzy kind of week. So, Jesus Christ.
Good Christ, that's wild.
Oh, man. So 25-year minimum on a life sentence. So good. He's fucking put away. And you got to figure in the hideous way that he did this, when that comes up in parole
there's no way
hearings,
he's getting
it's
out.
like you did. But once the head comes off, if you can cut the head off a person who you're supposedly like in a relationship with, and that you're okay with that. Right. That's next level. That's somebody where it's like, yeah, we don't need him on the street. Jesus Christ.
And you're so dead set on fucking disposing of this body and trying to make it go away forever.
Yeah.
You
don't give a fuck.
Making it go back to the earth.
You have no respect for the dead.
Now.
Yeah, you don't care at all. So
at least in theory.
So 1988, Gerald is sued, and this was hard to find too, digging deep in records for this shit. Gerald is sued for, shockingly, like, now listen, I understand you're in prison for murder, but I have not gotten a check.
I have heard you are rolling in license plate printing money.
It's been 17 years of alimony, and I would still like it to happen. I have not gotten remarried, and I am entitled to it. So Gerald is sued for wrongful death by a woman named Kathleen Whisman, who I believe, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, I believe that's a relative, possibly an aunt of Laura Britton.
Sure.
Possibly representing the family. I don't know her family history, this Laura Britton, but maybe the aunt raised her. I have no idea, but she seems to be the spokesman for this situation. And we'll talk about why I know that in a minute and why this person is still active in this, because this is in 1988. This happens. I don't know the outcome of the wrongful death suit. I would assume she won. Okay. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Yeah. If you win, wrongful death is way, the burden of proof is way less on the prosecution.
And when somebody's convicted of it, it's pretty much a slam dunk.
Well, if you can get convicted in court of it, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, it's just like 51-49 in a wrongful death, and you're guilty, like OJ.
Bang boom go.
That's why Fred Goldman won and got all the mustache wax in the world. So September 26th, 1991 is his appeal. Okay, he's got a number of errors. Obviously, assigns error to all sorts of shit. This is excluding evidentiary things that happened and blah blah blah. First thing that he's big on is the testimony of his mother, in which she repeats statements that he made on a telephone call the night before this is found. Now they're saying that this created motive for the prosecution for him, and basically that now somehow he's objecting to the fact that the judge allowed anything from the beginning to come in the beginning, the shit that incriminated him, but then cut it off before she got to say the shit that was his alibi. So he's like, hey, you let her say bad shit, but not good shit. Mainly the fact that you should have let her. He's saying that this is not an admissible hearsay. This is one of the exceptions to the rules. His thing is that it's admissible and relevant because he shows his mental state when the call was made. Like I said before,
you're cherry picking your beneficial shit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, they talk about the fact that that's not true, because she also brought up the rocks and hitting the house and the fact that he was paranoid and all the other things, and that it's not just a convenient thing that he made up that night. He's been on what he thinks is been systematically targeted by this group of murder conspirators, rather than he's been on a huge coke binge and slept 3 hours in the last 4 weeks and thinks that people are coming to attack him in the night.
Mad terror of harassment.
Yeah, shadowy. If you've been up for 3 days on coke, you will see shit.
I'll bet
you will fucking see shit.
If you stay up 3 days on nothing, you'll see shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're on coke for 3 days, you will 1,000% hallucinate. That shit happens, and especially if you're in the dark. Yeah. When you're in the dark, even if you're fine, you hallucinate. That's what forget it. I remember my health teacher telling me in 10th grade, if you want to trip out, he was like an old hippie guy. He's like, if you really want to trip out, he's like, long day, man, everything, you lay in the complete dark and just open your eyes and stare at the ceiling, man. It's a fucking fireworks show. Your eyes, everything, all the things from the day, all the lights, everything's going to unfold before your eyes. I was like, where the fuck did you grow up where it was excitement for you?
Those are called flashbacks, Mr. fucking Woodstock.
You boring son of a bitch. No shit. So anyway, he's saying that there was this corroborates the conspirators thing for weeks and all these strange occurrences and everything else. He says that it's not excluded because the weird thing is usually that they'll let shit like that in if the person who you're saying the hearsay for, the person you're talking said, this person said this to me.
Sure.
If that person's unavailable to testify, if they were dead or if they were in another country and unavailable or whatever the case may be, in a fucking coma, that's sort of, that's something. And it says a statement, this is in the law, a statement of the declarant's then existing state of mind, emotion, sensation, or physical condition such as intent, plan, motive, design, mental feeling, pain, bodily health, but not including a statement of memory or belief to prove the fact that they remembered or believes, which is a very confusing way to say that this shit doesn't count in that. Okay. He's available, and if he wanted to testify, he could have testified. If she wanted to testify to his, quote, state of mind, she could, but not give him an alibi that he provided for her without any proof of it.
Okay.
She had no proof of this alibi, so whatever. Now, beyond the hearsay, he also assigns error to the exclusion of other testimony by the Lynns, because he tells the Lynns, his friends, Tim and Mary Ellen, he tells them this whole tale about Howard, his partner, and the girlfriend, and they did not let... the state objected to that, and he says that objection should have been overruled, and they should have let him, for the same reasons, do that. So they struck down his mother's testimony, but they're trying to say, well, they were in person. They could see his state of mind. They could see that he was telling the truth. Now, also, he assigns error to the exclusion of testimony of a guy named John Scott, who's an acquaintance during a visit with Laura and with Gerald. He noticed that Laura had a black eye and a bruised lip. This is right after the paintbrushing incident. Yeah. John Scott asked Gerald right in front of Laura about the injuries on her face, and they asked him, quote, did the victim at the time, which was Laura, who was beaten up, identify herself as being part of the conspiracy to hurt him? Right. Because that's what she was saying. Like, he said, what the fuck happened to her face? And he said, she's conspiring to kill me, and her and Howard, they're all going to kill me. Right. And at the time, they said, well, what was she admitting to this? And they said no. And this John Scott said no, she was denying it the whole time. So was also
all right. So it's a paranoid moment. He just beat the shit out of her.
Yeah. So that's what it's weird because he's like trying to prove that he was paranoid at this point, which is a very strange thing to try to prove. He's really shooting in a bunch of different directions. In my case, it's an odd thing here. Also, now there's errors of assignments of error in his mind in the sentencing. He was sentenced to life in prison, which he's saying that he's talking about that, and I love the way this law is worded. By the way, the court, in compliance with this fucking statute, ordered defendant confined for a minimum of 10 years without possibility of parole, release on work release, or any form of temporary leave or employment at a work or forest camp. The fuck is a forest?
Throw that in there.
You can tell that's that's a local law. Yeah, that's not a.
It's old as fuck.
Yeah, we can't release him to a forest camp. Shit. Well, that's a problem. Jesus Christ.
They could simplify that as he shall not leave ever in that 10 years.
That's what it is. So instead, he says that the court erred when exercising its authority and added on another 15 years of confinement without parole, basically. And they're saying your ass. He brings up a bunch of cases, but they're like, no, we can impose this without. It's fucking murder. It's a murder charge. He also raises issues with this. In addition to the life imprisonment, the court imposed a $25,000 fine. Now, he says that the court erred here. There's no authority to impose a fine as punishment for murder, and the state says that it's weird. They say it's like other felonies is what it falls underneath. Okay. There's a thing, a sentence to pay a fine for a class A, B, or C felony shall be sentenced to pay an amount fixed by the court not exceeding $100,000, and they're trying to say that this goes under an unclassified felony thing, but the appeals court actually says here, actually, that is a very classified felony. It's not an unclassified felony, and you shouldn't fine on this because there's a definition for a murder and what that is. So that's actually a problem here. The other thing, he claims the court erred in sentencing him to pay $30,007 in fines and $24,228.65 as reimbursement for a court-appointed attorney expenses without making any determination of his ability to pay. It says that that he receives monthly payments of $1,000 for disability income from the government, and he says that that's all. He can't afford to pay all that money, and they say there's no error in the $5,000 fine for not paying attorney expenses. Okay, so sentence convictions are affirmed.
Okay.
Still guilty of murder. Okay. Remanded for resentencing on the fine.
Okay.
So he's sentenced still 25 years plus 25 years, but less fine. So that doesn't fucking matter. Now, here's when shit gets interesting in a couple minutes here. Now, 1992, he applies for post-conviction relief, habeas shit. Nothing comes of it because his shit is warrantless. Right. That's like for legal errors, and there are no legal errors, basically. We found nothing. 1993, his son, Bart, old Bart Batty, is a fugitive from justice and has a fugitive from justice warrant on him. He's out there being hunted in 1993.
Okay.
Not sure why, but I have an idea why, because we're going to find out in a moment. But now, September 27th, 2004, Gerald is charged with assault in jail.
Oh, no.
He's in his 60s, for Christ's sake. Number one.
Fighting?
Who the fuck is he assaulting in his 60s?
Another 60-year-old man.
It has to be. Like, I've seen a lot of shit on jail. Usually when dudes are over like 48, like they chill the fuck out. There's no more fighting. You're not fighting some 28-year-old dude who's been out
left alone.
Yeah, who's been working out in the yard all fucking day. Like, you're not fighting that guy. You're just past your prime physically at that point.
And
so,
your skin comes apart real easy.
It's just different.
A prison shank will open you wide open.
Your bones break. You're just not up for a beating when you're 50 years old as much as you are when you're 26.
Right.
There's not the same recovery time unless you're Ric Flair, which none of us are.
No.
So
and you're pickled and fucking
and you're pickled and
your skin is taut still.
Oh, Jesus.
How is it so tight still?
I don't know.
How does he figure it out?
Whiskey and tanning beds. I don't. Somehow the combination of those two things.
With the whiskey.
Jesus Christ. Well, he was a kamikaze guy, actually.
Was that what it is?
Kamikaze.
It's tequila, isn't it?
I think it's vodka. Kamikaze.
Yeah.
That's what he buys shots for. And I think he was also kind of a Scotch guy.
That was Lawrence Taylor too.
He liked his drinks. Yeah, because
he
you can
pictures of it.
That's what Ric Flair would do. He'd order pitchers and fucking people would.
God.
He'd order them for the whole bar.
Ugh.
So anyway, he's charged with assault in jail in his 60s, which is highly odd, like I said. Now, January of 2009, Bart is out, obviously. He's not in jail because he is wanted on a drug and firearm charge. And what ends up happening is police go to his house. It's in O'Brien, Oregon. And he's wanted on, these are federal warrants, by the way, drug and
big deal.
Weapons warrants. The Rogue Area Drug Enforcement and the Oregon State Police SWAT team arrive.
Oh, my God.
They go to his residence, which was at the 1800 block of Lone Mountain Road in O'Brien, at about 5 a.m. to execute a search warrant against him on the outstanding warrants. They show up to search. He's got a trailer.
Of course.
They show up to search his trailer. When they show up, this is fucking amazing. When they show up, 2 women and a child flee the dwelling right away. So he's got like the run. They go running, but he remains inside and doesn't come out. I pictured Zach Galifianakis on Reno 911 with the school bus and the 14 kids and stolen weaponry everywhere, and the cops scared of him and shit. That's what I picture is going on in this scenario. And he sent the kids and wife away. It's fucking nuts, man. So what ends up happening is the SWAT members tell him to exit the residence. Okay. So what he does is, this is amazing. I don't know if he just, the ultimate mind changer here. He pops out of the residence with an assault rifle.
Oh, Jesus.
And then immediately turns around and goes back in the house and locks the door. So, like,
they have a lot more than me.
I don't know if he came out expecting like Enos and fucking Roscoe P. Coltrane sitting out there with 6 shooters going, come on now, Bart, let's go, let's have it nice and peaceful. And he was going to go out and tell him to go away, and then saw a SWAT team, a federal SWAT team, and went, holy shit.
He was thinking the 2 cops from fucking Ernest movies.
Maybe.
The ugly old man with the great shot, and then the fat chubby dude.
I'm thinking he went out and he's going, I'm going out in a fucking blaze of glory.
Going down.
He opens the door and he's like, fuck it, never mind.
That's
and he runs
a big
back.
Blaze.
Oh shit. He turns back around. I don't have the balls for this.
That's more blaze than I thought.
I don't have enough meth. Shit, never mind. More meth. Okay, go in. So he refuses to comply with an order to surrender, obviously. So SWAT starts releasing, grenades and tear gas and fucking chemical munitions, as they're calling them, into his trailer, which that's his dwelling. It's a good way to put it. You're dwelling, all right, dwelling in something.
Dwelling on the past.
This is to drive him out. What he does, rather than leaving, is he shoots his rifle in the police's direction, which is not what you want to do to the SWAT. The SWAT team is keyed up. Yeah. They have automatic weaponry and they're full of fucking armor, and they go out in a team going, I hope somebody fucking takes a shot at me, because I will canoe his fucking head.
This shit in a minute.
In a minute. No, obviously I don't think they want anybody to get hurt, but if no one gets hurt and you get to fucking take that trailer out like Waco, I think they're not fucking disappointed at that, probably. So he fires 2 rounds through his wall. That's the other thing in a trailer. If you want to fire at an oncoming SWAT team, why open the door or a window? You get a trailer, tears right through that tinfoil. No problem.
Right.
So they end up, when he does that, they end up firing a second canister in, and they're like, more tear gas, and I think he's coming out.
Make him cry more.
And there's no way to fight that. Right. So he ends up coming out. He emerges with a revolver in his back pocket. Oh, again, not smart when you're dealing with people with fingers on the trigger of high-powered weaponry. And what ends up happening is he's got that, and police come out and bum rush him from the side and take him down with a taser.
Awesome.
So this would have been the best Cops episode ever. This would have been so much fucking fun to watch. They end up tasing him. I'm sure he was shirtless. I just see the whole thing happening.
At minimum, it's a button up that's open.
Yeah, oh, definitely flannel. So what they end up finding inside is $78,000 in cash in a trailer, which that's twice what the trailer's worth. Right. A 9mm semi-automatic rifle with a shortened barrel, so he modified it. That's illegal. A 50-round magazine
also
with it
illegal.
in case he wants to go do some shit, and a bunch of ammunition. Okay. Also, packing materials. What are those packing materials for? I don't know. Maybe the more than 1 pound of meth that he also had at the house.
Oh, wow.
So he was running a little empire out of this trailer. Like father, like son.
Yeah.
Nice, right? That shit. Well, I guess
baby and 2 wives.
Isn't that nice? That's nice. 2 women and a baby. I don't know where that came from. Now, Batty, this is the Bart Batty. Yep. They take him to the county jail, and he has unlawful possession of a controlled substance, which is methamphetamine, felon in possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of a firearm, and furnishing false information to a police officer, felony attempt to elude, misdemeanor attempt to elude, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, interfering with a police animal, and unlawful possession and distribution of a controlled substance, attempted aggravated murder as well for firing at officers, unlawful use of a firearm, felon in possession of a firearm, unlawful possession, distribution, and manufacturing of a controlled substance of methamphetamine.
You're looking at life, sir.
You are fucked, mister, and we'll find out what happens to him. By the way, this isn't the crazy part that I said about. This has nothing to do with the young man here. A second person who was in the house, a David Taylor, 43 years old, was cited and released after being charged with failure to appear on a DUI fucking warrant, unlawful possession of a short barrel shotgun, and possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, which in Oregon even then wasn't too big of a deal. I mean, it wasn't legal, but whatever the fuck it is.
It's not a pound of meth. Right.
2010, the next year, Bart pleads. These charges are a little much for him.
Yeah.
He pleads. He is sentenced to 17 years in prison.
Wow.
Which is a lot. That's, but you're shooting at the SWAT team. It seems light.
Unbelievably sweet.
You figure
Did you get a blowjob with that?
Just for all the shit he had in the house, we get you that. But for shooting at the cops, too, it was like a freebie. They threw that in. 17, he pleads guilty because he pled. He pleads guilty to using a firearm in a drug trafficking crime and possessing methamphetamine he planned to distribute. Okay. So they drop all the attempted aggravated. Let's just sweep all that you shooting at us business under the rug. You shot at us. We tased you. Right. It's all a wash.
It's all even. Nobody got hurt.
It's fine. He's currently serving right now in federal prison in Safford, Arizona.
How about that?
So he's
right up the
here,
road.
Right up the road here. Now, May 4th, 2016, there is a parole hearing for Gerald Sr. here.
Boy.
Parole hearing for him. He's been up for parole before, but parole hearing here. He's accompanied by Ryan O'Connor, his attorney, and also a friend of his is on the phone.
That's nice.
Henry Caron is on the phone.
May what year?
Offering his support. 2016.
Okay.
This is okay. There's a couple of board members there. It's a parole board. Also there is was victims people who are the friends of Laura, and someone from the Crime Victims Law Center, also attending via phone, was the old district attorney who prosecuted this guy. Right. So you got people going, he's a nice guy, and you got people going, please don't let him out. He's my, the person of my nightmares. Right. All that shit. The mother of Laura was there. Laura's mother was there. The whole deal. So this is the board ends up receiving a psychological evaluation on him as part of this deal, and that says, quote, based on the doctor's report and diagnosis, coupled with all information that the board is considering, the board concludes the inmate suffers from a present severe emotional disturbance that constitutes a danger to the health or safety of the community. The board has considered the matter under substantive standard in effect at the time of the commitment of the offenses and all other applicable rules and laws. The board defers release date for 24 months and a projected parole release date of 9/23/2018.
Oh my God.
For a total of 372 months. A review will be scheduled in March of 2018 with another psychological evaluation. I cannot find whether they let this fucking guy out yet, or whether that would even be processed yet, or if what, because this was, they're going to...
That was last month.
That was
2 weeks ago.
It was like 3 weeks ago, yeah. So I don't know what's going on, but he might be out there.
Oh, Jesus.
This guy might be out there, but let's find out something that he also might have done out there. Back when he lived in Amarillo, we'll talk, in the mid-'70s, there's a woman named Rosalind Leva who was found dead in Amarillo, Texas on January 4th, 1978. Okay? There's this big message board about this, and there's people looking for her family, curious about her case. She's 25 years old when she dies. Yeah. She is what people call identical to Laura Britton.
Really?
She was Gerald Batty's girlfriend at the time.
Oh, no.
Gerald Batty's girlfriend, and everybody who knew them, it was just a given. Everybody said that they all were just like, oh, Gerald definitely killed her. Wow. When are they going to arrest Gerald? And it just kept kind of going and going, and it was one of those things. In the late 70s of Texas, they said the final accounts of this were that final article, they just called it a drug-related death and moved on.
That's it.
That's it. They called it a drug-related death and swept it under the rug. Now, what ended up happening, though, is at the time, the family and friends that were talking to police, all the police said, we know Gerald fucking did this. Yeah. Like, we just need to find the proof, but he's our guy. Yeah. Like, they were certain he did it, all the police. This is all alleged, obviously, but he was their suspect. He was their guy. They were pretty positive this was done. She was found shot and dumped, 24 years old, same thing, identical to Laura, in the same sort of way. What they said is this person here says that she had a time of her boyfriend was Jerry. They could never prove it. And then this person who is, I believe, her aunt, who is the Kathleen woman, I think, said that the police told us the whole time that they couldn't prove it. And then once he moved to Oregon, it made it even more difficult because then they really couldn't question him. It would cost them money to do so. And they said that he keeps coming up for parole and that they go every year to try to make sure he stays there because this is Laura's family trying to find out shit about Rosalind to connect that. And she asked for people to email her if they have any information about this and have any information from back then. But they said, pretty much identical. Not enough evidence. Now, they said, this woman says, quote, another person says, quote, I knew Jerry and I knew Rosalind and I was always convinced he was responsible for her death. And this is a person who wants to email this person and talk about it. And everybody there talks about all this type of shit. This woman, Rosalind, is buried at the Jewish cemetery in Houston, I think. Now he's getting out. Maybe, this is what I mean about we're not investigators or anything, but if this guy's walking around the fucking streets and maybe Texas, maybe look into this shit. I don't know. In 1977, I'm not sure what the technology was like or if this is even a matter of technology or if it was just a matter of finding a woman and having no connections to it. But
Texas is pretty vicious with
let's
the
fucking
too.
Look into this shit. I feel like it's the 70s and they were like, I don't know, drugs. Like if he was into drugs and if she was sort of, we don't know. I mean, they were young. Maybe they were partying together and shit because we know he was into drugs the whole time.
We know we'll kill a girlfriend.
And we'll kill a girlfriend. And so who knows? And who knows what the fuck he's did between now and
how
then.
How about that too? That he got away with it before, allegedly, possibly,
maybe
got away with it once, and then decided, you know what, this time I'm not going to have her be found.
That's the thing. Yeah, this time I made a mistake last time. She was connected to me, and then they questioned me about it. And like I'm saying, we're not accusing him. We don't know. But if this guy's going to get out and he's going to walk the streets, maybe look into it.
Let's ask some questions.
Maybe ask a couple of questions and try to give her family some justice. If that's I don't know if that's even a possibility, but maybe they, whatever.
Fly him in for a sit down. Subpoena that motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is keep your eye out for Gerald Allen Batty.
Yeah.
He's out there.
And he is Batty.
And he is Batty. But please, while you're out there, keeping an eye out, because I know you're going to be looking for Gerald Batty, please, whatever you do, don't take it out on these poor people that I found. That I just feel some people, we do it in Crime and Sports, Mistaken Identities, and we never do it here, but this is one where I feel like, Jesus Christ, there's nobody else. Gerald Batty, who's a real estate agent.
Oh, buy a house.
That's the worst. Please, he's a real estate agent from Arlington, Texas, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He works for Keller Williams. I'm sure he sells fine homes that he's never dismembered women and burned them in the back of. I'm positive of it. His picture, he looks like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Please buy a home from this guy if you're looking for a home there, because I'm sure he's lost business from this maybe. Also, he says, I'll let him pitch to you. Quote,
fantastic.
I have been a real estate broker for several years, and my clients benefit from the experience. I am focusing on my client's best interests throughout the transaction. I will work through all of the fine details and provide a quality service.
That man does not have a weed farm.
No, he has no weed farm. And like I said, I doubt he's even ever thought of dismembering a woman. So I think please buy a house from this man. I figure we did 2 hours running his name into the ground. We could give him a 30-second plug for what he does. Because I feel bad. Also, please don't take it out on Gerald Batty, who is an Australian MMA fighter with a 3-4 record, currently on a 2-fight losing streak, which kind of sucks. But at least, for the love of God, he has not, as far as I know, dismembered a woman and burned her in the outback of the Australian outback. We don't know. He may have, and he may just snap at any point.
And we may be able to cover him later.
Who knows? But either way, that is the story.
Wow.
And it's a crazy fucking story, honestly.
He could be out there anywhere. Lock your doors, people. Lock
your doors.
You never know who's out there.
No, it's true. You never know. And this guy, even at that age, I don't trust him. He was starting fights in prison in his 60s. So somebody who can decapitate their girlfriend, I put nothing past them of being capable of any age, even though they usually slow down. Sometimes not. So,
but seriously, lock your doors.
Seriously, lock your doors. And
that's personal to me too. I have a friend in Southern California who last week somebody broke into her house and jizzed all over her computer. Like
the pollinator.
Yeah, the pollinator was there.
No, that's fucking disturbing, man.
It's terrifying stuff out there, you guys.
Awful, man.
Lock
Jesus
your fucking
Christ.
doors.
Lock your goddamn
Put bars
doors
in your windows. Just don't trust anybody.
Get a fucking dog.
Get a dog.
Get a nice fucking dog. You know what I'm talking about? Most of you have no idea what I'm saying, but that doesn't matter. The Crime and Sports people know what we're talking about. That's our crazy story. I have one thing to talk about here, and this is something that's near and dear to both Jimmy and I, both of our hearts, and it's a quick thing to go over here. Just a quick question we have for you people, and that is, what in the fuck do people want from comedians? Okay? Because let's start out with this, okay? Yeah. Because for years and years and years, you're telling us that comedy is art, okay? Right. You first of all, nobody considers it art.
It's a
in
craft,
reality.
James.
That's what I'm saying. You tell us it's art and it's art and it's art, but then it's only art when it's convenient when it's art, because for hundreds of years, if there's a painting or a sculpture, you can't censor that, because that's art and that's artistic expression. And even if it's something that's offensive to you, it's artistic expression. We'll put the shit in a fucking museum, even if you hate it. Okay.
We will put dicks on a statue.
We'll put dicks on a statue.
Men have those.
Mapplethorpe is all over the place. That's art. You know what I'm saying? So there's that shit, and then there's the fact that, not for nothing, but books. You can write the most vile, horrid book in the world, and it still has to. We have to treat it just as legitimate as any other book. Right. Otherwise, you're into some weird Nazi shit. Right. That's a fucking fact of the matter. Unless it's something telling you that you should and how to build bombs to hurt people. We're pretty fucking open with that shit. But then comedy comes in, and this is what I don't get. Okay, and this is where it is. people want, and I'll say you, and I just mean people, and not you personally, and I'm not, this isn't yelling at you, this is whatever.
This isn't a you people thing.
You're on our side, obviously, if you're still listening now. Like, you're clearly one of our folks, and that's fine. But we're talking about people want from comedians. They want, number one, they want shit to be funny.
Right.
They want constant new material.
Always.
You want new shit all the time. You know,
I heard that before.
You know what else you like, too? You love off-the-cuff shit.
Yeah.
You love, they just thought of that. You love that. But at the same fucking time that you love that shit has to be also pre-cleared through the focus group of whether the fuck that is A, funny, or B, offensive.
You better filter it.
People will literally say, can you say that improv thing you said, can you make that not so offensive? And it's like, no, because it just came out of my fucking mouth.
It just happened.
And that's what you want.
Right.
You want me to be programmed with the same jokes? You know why Jerry Seinfeld is the same fucking act for 20 years? Probably because of this shit. Because then it doesn't fucking matter.
And,
there was nobody that can be offended. Yeah, he builds an act, then he plays it. That's why guys used to do that. He's doing the same hour
he does now for the rest of his life.
Why not?
Because people like it.
People like it, and that's what I'm saying.
I don't get tweets.
And you want that shit, and you want it, but you want it to be filtered, and you want it to be all that shit. But there's no form of like, well, comedy is an artistic expression. Not only is it an artistic expression, but you can get pissed off at a book that's been through. That person's read it, wrote it, reread it, given it to an editor. They've wrote it, made their pass, given it back. That's been gone over. You're talking about something of a comic that comes out of their mouth on the fucking fly.
Right.
It's bullshit that people will get offended by that.
To say about it? How dare you?
How about art for fucking, that's what people are trying to do. Right. And if someone tries to craft a fucking joke like they tried to paint a picture and it came out with a big glistening cock on it, and you don't fucking like big glistening cock pictures, but guess what? That's art. So don't fucking look at it. And comedy's the same fucking way.
Right.
So I'm wondering, what the fuck do people want from comedians? And stop calling it art if it's not art. That's all I'm saying. You're not going to go to a restaurant and like every dish on the fucking menu, but yet you wouldn't fucking attack a chef for making shit that you don't like. That's what we're saying.
Why'd you put spinach in your fucking in your salad?
God damn it.
I don't like spinach.
I don't like spinach.
Well, get the fucking salmon then. Shut the fuck up.
Yes, the dick pile is there. Get eaten. The dick buffet is open, everybody. Enjoy. So that said, that is our episode.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us on that journey.
It was so fun.
It was a lot of fun right there. Thank you. If you please want to help us out, want to help the show out, you can do that so easily by going over to the little purple icon, podcast, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, or Apple iTunes, whatever the fuck it is now. What they're calling it. Apple purple thing, wherever you can review our show, and please do that. Give us 5 stars. It really, really helps out the show. If you want to be an even bigger help, first of all, go over to shutupandgivememurder.com and buy some t-shirts and mugs and bath mats and whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And tickets to upcoming shows.
God damn it, get those.
Portland next week, Seattle the night after Portland.
Fun.
It was a Thursday and a Friday night, I believe, and then we're San Francisco and Phoenix 2 weeks after that. Right. So come out and see us. We're in Phoenix on a Monday night for some ungodly fucking stupid reason. So please buy tickets so we won't have to murder a man who booked it. And have to do an episode on ourselves from jail.
Get out and see us. The shows are it's fucking
a lot
blast.
of fun, and we have some really good ones on this tour. So it's going to be fun.
Not just shows; it's the people that come out. Meeting you guys is fun.
It's so much fun, and the whole vibe of everybody laughing together. Yeah. It's so much fun, man. It's a party.
I've never performed at a place where the lights are synced to like
the sound,
a decibel level of the people, and when you guys cheer and the lights flicker.
Yeah, when you laugh at jokes, dude, that's amazing.
It's awesome.
Thank you for doing that. And also, if you want to be one of our spectacular, wonderful, hero, just beloved producers, there's an easy way to do that. It's also at shutupandgivememurder.com. There is links that will take you to patreon.com/crimeinsports to make a donation, or over to PayPal, where you can make a one-time donation using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com, which is also how you can get a hold of the show. Follow us at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and all that good shit. And that said, Jimmy, I want you to hit me with the people who have pollinated us with the most wonderful donations ever. Hit me with that list right now.
I got it right here. Our executive producers this week are Dana Alba. Thank you. It's Danny.
Danny?
It might be Danny.
Danny?
It's Dayni.
Wow.
That could be Danny. Either way, she's
it's a tough one, but thank you
is what she
so
is.
much. Yeah,
thank you so much.
Well, appreciate it, no matter the pronunciation. Appreciate it.
Shannon Russell, Rhiannon Cranning, Amanda McPhail, Melissa Silsby, Emmy Dumont, Michael Kennedy, who has quickly become my favorite Michael Kennedy.
Yes.
Tiffany Robertson, thank you so much. Heather Norton and Ricky Fitzpatrick, you guys are fucking amazing. Thank you so much. Gary Howard, Janae Compton, and Bacon Bits the Cat.
Okay.
Peyton Meadows, Jennifer Moore, Kiva Hartfield, Ashley Vio, Matt Dietrich, Bill Ellman, Jesse Hartman, Victoria DeLuise, Taisha McPherson, Mariah Menhir.
I love her. She's cool. Our Dutch friend.
Yeah, exactly. Frank Maggio. Yes.
Hey,
yeah. You know
Frankie.
Right? Yeah. Erica Cernajewski. Yeah,
right.
I think so.
It's got
Hannah Turley,
you.
Margie Coonsey, of course, Neil Kosker, Heather Fowler, Raquel Quintero, Jason Smith, Lauren Demarath, Stephanie Ioga. Yes.
Nice.
Rachel Vranks.
Well done.
Bryant Toole, Justin Miller, Katie Gwynn, Kate Ives, Hannah Simmons, James Fraker, Ariana Folsom, Charlotte Tork, Angela Miller. Yeah. Robert Haynes, Jessica Manor, Joseph Blenis.
Okay.
It's probably Blenis.
Blenis.
Right, but it's spelled like penis with bull.
Well, that's all right.
It's Blenis.
Penis.
Joseph Blenis and Hajni Pap. Hajni, that's what it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Lena Fisher, Heather Chamness, Allison Blazik, Catherine Brinker up there in San Francisco,
thank you.
Kelly Hedges, Sienna Messing, Kelly Higby, Under the Sea Fabrics, Amy O'Hearn, Hannah Cameron. Oh, Hannah Camerson.
Hey, Hannah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Hannah.
you, Hannah. Thanks for coming to Dallas,
She came and had some drinks
too.
in Dallas, too.
Definitely.
You, Hannah.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Lewis Tidrick, John Nomad, or J.A. Nomad, Lloyd Sokup. Fuck. Karen Flage.
You made it sound pretty damn cool, I gotta say.
Valerie Callahan, Brooke, what did I do there? Nunke. Brooke Nunke, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Garrett Moylan, Madalena. Oh, this one's a tough one. Madalena Maria Neva. Madalena Miva. Fucking what?
Wow.
Madalena Maria.
The stumper.
Benevent Knight. She's got 5 damn names.
Put that shit together somehow and figure out a name.
Diarrhea Cha-Cha-Cha. Erica.
Got that one right on the first try.
Erica Hayashida? Yes. Erica Hayashida. Shelley Roberts. Zane Billiot. John Rita. Kevin Doherty. No.
What?
Yeah. No.
Yeah? No, what?
What was the other? Brad.
Brad
what
was the center.
Whatever.
For the Cavaliers.
I was like, is that him? Lisa Campo, Teresa Pedway, Luke Lynch, Laura Aitken, Mindy Poore, Andrea Jones, Angie Todd, Nikki Allen, Anita Maria, Derek Walton, Ryan McCool, Mike Collier, Allison Harax, Jennifer Conarton. Conarton. Karina Moon, Christy Dietrich, Heather Graff, Stephanie Ramos, Harley with no last name, Keisha N with no last name, Amy Nicole, Nina Jornston. What? How did I do that?
Got it. Nailed it.
Emily Stamper, Leah Egan, of course. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
Noel Kingwell, Luna Alvarez, Roland Mitchell Ring, Amanda S. Asperheim. Yes. Scott Quinn, and then the home stretch, babe. Kimberly Owens Goldstein, Brandon Coffin, Gwyneth Quartet, and Robbie Burden. Thank you guys so much. You're fucking heroes.
Thank you so much, honestly, guys.
You guys.
You guys are the best. You just keep it going between your help on the donations and your things you send us and live shows and
all the support is fucking
you come out.
Outstanding.
It's just amazing, man. It blows us away. And thank you so much from the bottom of our black shriveled hearts.
Freezing cold.
We really appreciate it. This shit warms us, man. And you guys, we just appreciate the shit out of you. Thank you so much. And what if people wanted to tell you that they appreciated the shit out of you and pollinate your whole world, Jimmy? How do they do that?
Find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Snapchat. You guys are fucking really great at coming through it and just sharing a story of any sort, whether it's something that you're depressed about or something that's going on in your life. I just like hearing all of it, and it's a burned bleach factory.
That's all it is. It's a burned bleach factory of love, everybody.
What about your burned bleach factory of love? Where is it at?
You can pollinate my social media stream over at Jimmy P is Funny, at Jimmy P is Funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description. Look for me that way. Don't be a hero and try to spell it. That said, guys, we had a goddamn blast this week.
This was so much fun.
With a crazy, crazy story and just a lot of fun this week. Thanks for being a part of it. Thank you always. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.